Then Caleb casually flopped onto the sofa. Right, once you've seen him, it's hard to forget. A pretty boy should be handsome after all. She asked, completely stunned, what he was doing. And Caleb casually replied, aren't we in a room? That's right, so I'm going to take a nap. Just wake me up when you're going somewhere. 10 minutes later, he was fast asleep. She still couldn't believe it, and she started to miss Alan, the knight who was always so sincere, affectionate, and polite. I thought they were all like Alan. She couldn't help but wonder, how can people like that even exist? Later, when Akats arrived, he saw that her hands were covered in wounds and asked with concern, what happened to your hands? She sighed and replied, it's because of my homework. After the carriage incident, I've been taking a break from my etiquette class, and instead, Miss Daya heard I had a minor accident. I don't know the details, but I'm glad you weren't hurt. Instead of you missing class, I will give you homework. And that homework is embroidery. I'll include a needle and thread, so just take your time and practice. An excellent lady should be able to embroider her beloved's name on a handkerchief. There is no gift that can capture a man's heart like that one, Akats said, but even so, for it to get this bad. She looked at her hands and replied helplessly, if I don't do it, I'll get nagged to death. Ravi thought to herself, besides, I wonder if this will be of any use after I become a priestess. This is like an investment. I wonder when I can go to the temple. After that thought, she said cheerfully, don't worry, if it doesn't go well, you can just ask Jenny for help. Let me see your wounds, I'll heal you. Huh? What if we get caught? He looked at her hands pitifully. All I need is a bandage, but I can't stand to see you in pain. Ravi could only look at him in silence. After the carriage incident, Akatsuki started visiting often. Is he doing this because he wants to apologize? Learning to embroider is a good thing, but this is making me feel a little guilty. A few seconds later, the wounds on her hands disappeared. Thank you, Akatsuki. In return, I'll show you what I've embroidered. Even so, you're improving a lot. What kind of return gift is that? I want to see. But then the two of them went into Akats's room. Looking around, he asked, come to think of it, where's your escort knight? Oh, he's probably in the wine cellar right now. What? A shipment of good wine came in today, and it seems the knights are secretly drinking the extra bottles they received. I thought all knights were as composed as Alan, but Caleb turned out to be nothing like him. Since I don't have an escort, I can wander around freely like this. I had black tea with brandy the other day, and it was so good. My heart was pounding a bit, but Ravi exclaimed, ah, found it. This one's the best. Akats, why are you making that face? Akats's face darkened. That guy named Caleb. I want to meet him too. She was completely confused. Huh? Is it because he ditched me to go drinking, right? We can just include you next time. He replied, okay, that's a promise. Akats thought to himself. Calm down. I need to bring Alan back as soon as possible. You embroidered this, right, Ravi? She presented it, saying, I embroidered my own name, Ravi. Akatsuki wondered, why are you practicing with your own name? Aren't you supposed to embroider the name of the person you like? This is for someone special. I have to embroider my name so they can feel my presence in it. Yours? Ravi said, beaming. Well, for someone special, it's like a declaration of love, you know? Like writing your name on something to claim it. If you carry my name, you'll be mine, right? Every time you see the handkerchief, you'll think of me. That would be so much better. Akats's heart started to flutter, so that's what she meant. Then she suddenly said dejectedly, but you can't even read it, so I guess I'll have to practice more. Akats, no, I think it's really cute. It's like a child's handwriting, which just means it's clumsy. A week later, Werner was following his sister everywhere. It seems he's been very free lately. Isn't there anything for me? He asked. A handkerchief or something like a handkerchief? Ravi snapped irritably. Ugh, stop it. That's not for my brother. He looked thunderstruck. What? Then who is it for? This is why I kept it a secret from my brother. The maids already knew the story of the handkerchief, so they told him. She sighed and said, anyway, I'm not giving it to you. It's mine. Really? Fine then. If it's not for me, it can't be for anyone else either. She thought helplessly. How can he say that with such a straight face? You should go see your fiancé instead of spending time with me. Why are you talking like this all of a sudden? If you're engaged, you should feel some responsibility. You two are dating, right? What about gifts? Do you write letters? I'm considering it. Werner broke out in a sweat. Ah, oh my, it's time for the political meeting. I have to go now. He's always scared of Ravi whenever she brings up the engagement. A moment later, they both stood before the carriage. Before leaving, Werner didn't forget to tease his sister. Ravi, I'm off now. How about a kiss? Just go already while I'm still being nice. Where are you sending me off to? As soon as he got inside, he pouted. So heartless. This is cute too. But, suddenly, a figure flashed by. He turned his head and saw pink hair. Was that Akats? That kid works at the royal palace, but I see him at our house all the time. Akatsuki was now riding his horse toward her. Werner thought, even though I can't get the handkerchief, it's 100 years too early for him to win Ravi. Meanwhile, over here, Ravi exclaimed, Akatsuki, it feels like we see each other every day lately. Not that I mind. The two quickly took each other's hands. What should we do? Have some tea or go for a walk? Wait a minute, Ravi. Huh, what's wrong? Akats said shyly. I came here for something else today. Something else? She thought to herself. Could he be here to see my brother? I just told him he left for work. But contrary to her thoughts, Akats said, I want you to have this. Hearing that, a question mark appeared over her head. It was a light blue handkerchief embroidered with flowers. Akatsu's name was embroidered on it. What's this? You embroidered your name too? Akatsu held the handkerchief out to Ravi and gently hummed in affirmation. Looking at the meticulously embroidered handkerchief, Ravi beamed, thinking to herself, it's so beautiful. If you're good with a sword, you must be good with a needle too, right? Thank you. I'll treasure it. But why did you make this for me? Akatsuki blushed shyly. Ravi recalled how she had cheerfully said before, for someone special, it's like a declaration of love, like writing your name on something to claim it. If you carry my name, you'll be mine, right? Akatsuki had always remembered Ravi's words and had diligently embroidered, thinking that he could give her his name with the hope of making her his. Only one thing was on my mind. Ravi, no matter where you are or what time it is, I hope you will always think of me. Akatsuki expressed his affection for Ravi, but her blank stare left him at a loss for words. Akatsuki scratched his head, saying it was beautifully made, but it would be a shame to just leave it like that. You are the only person who has ever given me something like this. That's true. It's a shame to look at it all by myself. But I have to go now, she replied softly. Ravi stared at the handkerchief in her hand, thinking, but it feels a little weird to be the only one getting a gift. With that, she quickly called out to Akatsuki. Akatsuki, wait a second. I'll give you something I made. The handkerchief Ravi had embroidered was a little sloppy, and Ravi froze, thinking to herself, to actually give him this after comparing them, I'm so terrible. But Akatsuki asked gleefully, can I really keep this? After seeing the one you made, I'm positive I have no talent for this at all. I'm not going to do this anymore. It might not look that great, but since it's my first and also my last time, I cherish it a lot. Is this really the thing you cherish? Thank you, Ravi. I'm so happy. I want to do something more for you, Ravi thought. Oh my gosh, what an idiot. Akatsuki is getting the raw end of the deal here. It's a good thing he's so nice. An idea suddenly popped into her head, and she blurted out, then can I ask you for a favor? She thought. Taking advantage of the kind-hearted Akatsuki is easier than anyone. Akatsuki asked. A favor? What kind of favor? There's a place I want to go with you. Akatsuki blushed beet red, shyly asking Ravi, where? Can you come with me to the temple? The scene changes to the temple, which, except for a few festivals, is not open to commoners, as this place is reserved for the privileged class like royalty and the nobility. All the citizens believe in the existence of the gods, the proof of which is in the miracles performed by the priests. Because of its divine nature, that powerful light is passed down to a child from an upper-class family. That brilliant white light touches a wound and breathes new life into it. There is absolutely no lack of evidence for this miracle. But even without that meaning, the temple was still very special to Ravi. Akatsuki was a bit curious. He asked, why do you want to go to the temple? If you need healing, I can just do it for you. Actually, I have a wish I want to pray for, but it's not easy for me to go out at all. So that's the reason, Ravi? I really want to check out the young, future priests I'll have to seduce later, she thought, picturing them performing their healing rites. Most of the people who come to my house are high-ranking officials, so they're all basically grandpas. No matter how desperate I get, there's no overcoming that kind of age gap. I don't get to vet any of the younger candidates. With that thought, her eyes welled up with tears, and she said, something bad happens every time I go out, so I'm terrified of traveling all the way to the temple. But if I go with you, I won't get hurt or tired, right? Come to think of it, I'm partly to blame for Ravi not being able to go out freely. Why have I never once thought of taking her out myself? Myself? Okay, alright, I'll take you first thing tomorrow. Wow, thank you so much. I knew I could count on you. I'll see you tomorrow then, Akatsuki. As he mounted his horse to leave, he made sure to reply, yeah, I'll come get you in the morning, so please wait for me. Ravi watched as Akatsuki's figure slowly disappeared. She thought to herself, and now, I have to practice letting Akatsuki go. She clutched the handkerchief he gave her tightly to her chest. I can't keep relying on you forever. Akatsuki spurred his horse forward. This is great. Now I have an excuse to see him again tomorrow. The handkerchief she gave him was neatly folded by Akatsuki and tucked into his pocket. For now, it's okay even if you don't realize my feelings for you, because I'll always be by your side until the day you finally notice me. I'll grow up quickly. Time passed, and the next morning, Ravi and Akatsuki arrived at the temple. The prayer room is this way, yeah, but 3 priests gathered together caught Ravi's eye. Ravi immediately ran in that direction, exclaiming, let's go now, this way. Ravi, where are you going? Then, the 2 of them watched the 3 men from behind a wall. She quietly asked Akatsuki, look over there, are those guys priests too? Why are they meeting in secret? Those are knights. They're in charge of security at the temple or escorting guests. Oh my gosh, look at those muscular bodies. Can't knights use healing powers too? If the person healing me was that well built, that would be so great. She couldn't help but whisper, they're so cool. Her words made Akatsuki a little gloomy. As if sensing some kind of aura, the 3 knights turned and one asked, why do I suddenly feel a chill? Yeah, me too. They walked outside together, and the 3 of them bowed respectfully before a young man who had just stepped out of a carriage. It is an honor to meet you, Your Highness. May God bless you. So it's Prince Philip. I apologize for the sudden visit. I hope I'm not bothering anyone? Not at all. It is a great honor to have you visit. But may I ask what brings you here today? Is there any other reason to come to the temple? I am here to pray. The temple grounds sparkled under the sun, as priests sat reading their books. Akatsuki's voice rang out, Ravi, we really have to go now. He looked wearily at Ravi, whose eyes were shining like stars. Staring intently at the men, she replied, "Just a little longer. It's only been 30 minutes. Suddenly, her hand started bleeding. Ouch. Realizing her finger was bleeding, Ravi felt a sting and turned to Akatsuki. He asked with great worry, "What's wrong? Are you hurt?" The wall was a bit rough, so I scraped it, but it's nothing important," she thought to herself. Even as a backup fiancé, I need to be more considerate of Akatsuki. He anxiously pulled her hand closer. "That really hurts, Akatsuki." Without any hesitation, he brought her finger to his mouth and used his power to heal it. Ravi was incredibly embarrassed, her entire face blushing bright red. Akatsuki, what do you think you're doing in a sacred place like this? When we were kids, I used to feel so reassured when you healed me. But now that Akatsuki can control his powers, maybe the treatment method is different. I don't know why I'm suddenly so flustered. This feels completely different." With that thought, Ravi pulled her hand back. "That's so ticklish, but I hope it heals fast." Then Akatsuki took Ravi's hand and led her away. "Come on, let's go pray now." Stepping into the prayer room, Ravi was happily surprised by how magnificent it was. She exclaimed, "Wow." Ravi skipped around cheerfully, saying, "There aren't as many people here as I thought there'd be." Akatsuki asked, "Is that so?" He thought to himself, "I arranged it this way on purpose." She stood quietly to pray, while Ravi complained in her head, "I only came to pray, and didn't even get to meet any priests." Akatsuki chuckled softly and asked, "Do you remember our childhood? You mean the well that listens to wishes? What about it? You still remember that?" "I remember everything we've ever done together, and what I remember most is you crying a whole lot." "I didn't cry that much. You were crying right there with me, Ravi." Ravi clutched her stomach, laughing loudly, saying, "No way. Didn't everyone come running because they heard Akatsuki crying? But why are you bringing up such bad memories?" "Ah, no. Even though we couldn't pray together back then, it's a true blessing that we brought you here safely today." Ravi looked at Akatsuki with a hint of sadness in her eyes, and Akatsuki, curious about her wish, asked, "But what did you wish for? The same wish as back then?" She blushed and turned away as she answered, "It's a secret. Who goes around telling people their wish anyway? What am I supposed to do with someone so sweet and innocent?" "My wish." Actually, Ravi's wish was to be blessed with a gentle and sincere groom. "I might be able to help, you know. Can't you just tell me a little bit?" "No way. I'm not telling you. Let's go back." She broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, "I have to keep it a secret before I get married." So stingy. "Fine then, I'll keep my wish a secret too." Ravi glanced at Akatsuki, thinking, Akatsuki's wish is obvious though. It must be about his brother. Ravi clasped her hands together, praying, "Oh Lord, please grant me a gentle and sincere soulmate. Please send me a good man like Akatsuki and not a womanizer like Werner." Suddenly, the atmosphere around her turned somber, and footsteps echoed from behind her. Entering the prayer room was Felix. He stepped inside and said, "Oh my, I did not know we had guests." Ravi turned and replied, "Ah, we just finished praying. You can come in." Looking at Felix, Ravi couldn't help but be starstruck. "Oh my God, who is this handsome man? He's not a priest. He must be a knight, right? My apologies for thinking such things." Felix smiled warmly. "Meeting like this must be fate. May I ask for your name, my lady?" Ravi gave a shy laugh. "Oh my, could it be that the gods have already answered my prayer?" Her voice faltered. I am." Akatsuki stepped in between them. "It is an honor to meet you, your highness. May the gods bless you." "There's no need to be so formal. You're as stiff as ever, Sir Akatsuki." Hearing the words, "your highness," Ravi's expression fell. "What? Wait, the prince? He's going to be my brother's rival in the future. Are the gods messing with me? If I give my future husband to my brother, what would happen then?" Ravi bowed her head. "It is an honor to meet your highness. May the gods bless you." "She is Raviel of the house of Marquis Daya." Felix smiled, saying to her, "So you are Lady Ravi. I have heard so much about you from Sir Rose." He took her hand and placed a kiss on it. "But you are far lovelier than what I've heard." Ravi, slightly flustered, stammered in response. "Lady Rose? Have you talked about me with Sir Rose? Thank goodness it wasn't about my brother. What have you heard about me?" she asked curiously. "Then let us sit and have a chat." Akatsuki quickly moved to stand in front of Ravi, politely declining, "Your Highness, please excuse us, but we have other business and must be going now." Akatsuki glanced at Ravi, asking, "Isn't that right, Ravi?" Ravi was a bit taken aback, but didn't deny it. "Huh? She thought to herself. I actually wanted to talk with him a bit more. But as Ravi watched Akatsuki face Felix, she sensed a strange vibe. It seemed like Akatsuki was on guard against the prince. Suddenly, Ravi's eyes lit up. She looked at the two of them in alarm and screamed internally. Is this his instinct to dominate a future rival? Standing between them, how was she supposed to handle this? Felix is the one who will make a move on his future sister-in-law. I don't like it either, but why such a cold reaction? If Lady Austen saw this, she would surely faint. Just then, Felix sighed and said calmly, well then, let's meet again next time if we have the chance. Yes, thank you for your understanding, Your Highness. Ravi thought to herself. He didn't even say a single word of thanks. Then he grabbed her hand and pulled her away. Well then, we'll see you later. Behind them, Felix smirked. My, this seems more important than what I've been told. As Ravi and Akatsuki got into the carriage and left, she said, I don't think I'm fated to get along with that prince. Akatsuki took her hand. I met him once when I went to the royal palace with my father. The prince is the type of person who is friendly to people even if they have no value. As a representative for the Enoch and Rose families. So that's it. That's why the thing with me and Sister Rose. But Akats, what were you doing just now? Akats said it looked like something was on my hand. Stop it. You're touching it so much it's starting to get sore. You know my skin is sensitive. Hearing her say that, Akatsuki finally let go of her hand. I'm sorry. She looked at his expression and thought, are you giving me the disease and the cure at the same time? Akatsuki, I don't know why, but I'll take this chance to make things clear. You're the most handsome boy I've ever met, and you always smell so nice. Hearing that, Akats immediately blushed bright red. Suddenly, she was screaming inside. I told myself not to be timid when facing the main character. I thought that even when we were little, but do you have any idea how surprised I was when you finished your night training and came back? You're so tall and your shoulders got so broad too. Your face is really cool too, isn't it? And you're so good with a sword. Actually, I don't remember that. Thank you. Her hands tightened on her dress. You're so gentle and kind, more than anything. I'm the one who knows best how hard you've worked for the person you like. Those words made Akatsuki blush all the way to his ears. Wait, hold on a second. He was flustered, thinking to himself, how does Ravi know that? His entire face flushed red. I thought you didn't understand my feelings. Ravi then stepped forward and lifted his chin with her hand. You dummy, how long do you think I've had my eyes on you? Of course I know. Akas, you can tell me anything that you're holding back. If it's you, I'm always ready to accept it all. Whether it's your special powers, your outstanding talents, power, or strength. I don't have any of those things, but as your closest friend, I can listen to your story better than anyone else. Akas took her hand from his cheek, stammering, you'd really accept me? If you knew what I truly wanted, you wouldn't be able to say that. Ravi pouted, I mean it. You can say whatever you want. You've already shown that you missed me, and you've been annoyed and grumbled about me before. Just do everything you want to do. Tell you my true feelings? I'm not as innocent as you think. If we were in the same bed, I'd get so worked up I wouldn't be able to bear it. I get anxious whenever you look at other people. I hope you can understand the turmoil in my heart, and I'm also scared of you finding out. But I guess a country like that would be fine. So even if Werner doesn't understand you, you shouldn't be sad. Hearing that, Akatsuki completely froze. What is it? Raviat wondered. Werner is so clueless. Probably because she's sensitive when it comes to romance, but Akatsuki's voice lowered. Wait a minute, Ravi. She asked, why are we talking about Werner right now? What's wrong? Your expression is getting darker. I guess I should have waited instead of bringing this up. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But Akatsuki's face was still bright red as she said, it's okay if you don't know, but please don't involve anyone else. It's not who you're thinking of. Oh, what's with this tense atmosphere? Seriously, why is it that every time Werner's name comes up, did I say something I shouldn't have? Akatsuki's mood seemed to have soured too. She reached out and gently touched Akatsuki's hand. I'm sorry, are you mad? You're not really angry, are you, Akatsuki? We're still friends, right? Yeah, of course we are. Words left unsaid, spoken only in her mind. You know, Raviat, I might actually be a terrible person because I'm always lying to you. That night, Raviat was lying in her bed, but she didn't seem to be sleeping soundly, as she was drenched in sweat. In her dream, a burning candle appeared, and scenes from her past life began to flash by as she sat at a desk. In the flickering candlelight, she meticulously wrote a letter to the commander-in-chief. You must take care of yourself. Tears fell as she wrote, blurring the ink. From so far away, I still pray for your safety. So please, you must arrive safely. Her eyes were brimming with tears, and around her lay many crumpled drafts. I know this is all pointless. No matter what I write, these are just letters that can never be sent. Even so, the reason I can't stop is probably because this is the only thing I can do. She covered her face and broke down crying. Akatsuki, I miss you. I've replayed it in my mind 10 times, 100 times, wondering what I should have chosen back then. Could we have avoided saying goodbye? The next morning, as Raviat was having breakfast, she suddenly told her maid, I'm sorry, Jenny, I can't eat another bite. Can't you have just one more bite? I'll just take my medicine. Please spare me. The table was cluttered with all sorts of medicine. Being sick like this is miserable. It feels like sand in my mouth. It burns on the way down, and I always feel like I'm going to vomit. After taking the medicine, she choked. Jenny rushed over with a cloth to help as she gasped for air like she was underwater, feeling a heavy weight on her chest. You've had a hard time, my lady. Please lie down now. Okay, suddenly, she asked. Did anyone say if Akatsuki was coming today? Yes, I heard he's been very busy lately. Is that so? She remembered. He must be sulking because of the nonsense I spouted. It's been a while since I was this sick, and it's exhausting. Besides, what was with that dream last night? I dreamt I was writing a letter to Akatsuki. My head aches just thinking about it. I hope he returns soon. At the royal palace, Werner was walking down a red-carpeted hall, strolling aimlessly when a voice suddenly called out, You seem to be quite busy. Lady Rose, I was just on my way to see you, as a matter of fact. Is that so? I thought you might have forgotten, since it's been so long. My apologies. Rose burst out laughing. I know you've been swamped with work lately. I was just teasing. Perfect timing, actually. I also wanted to speak with you about that matter. Let's talk for a moment. The two of them went to the balcony to speak privately, and as you know, the war is about to begin again. If that's the case, Then I'll be busy as well, so our wedding will have to be postponed. Busy with what? Don't tell me. That's right, I will be participating in this war too. I'm sorry for not discussing it with you first. Hearing this, Werner sighed. Honestly, I just don't understand. I heard the enemy crossing the border is a coalition of small nations. After conscripting soldiers, their forces now outnumber ours. And besides, the terrain in that region is very disadvantageous for us. Frankly, I think this is a war where victory isn't guaranteed. It would be better to negotiate with the enemy to reduce our losses rather than fight. Why would you throw yourself into a situation like this? Let me ask you something. Are you saying that because you're worried about me? Well, of course She smiled and continued, it's not because you don't have faith in my abilities, right? Her words seemed to hit Werner right where it hurt. For a moment, he was speechless. Seeing his reaction, Rose moved closer and said, I'm sorry, but I have no intention of backing out of the war. All the knights under my command are going to battle, so how could I possibly stay here? Werner immediately turned back to Rose and asked, are you really throwing yourself into danger this time, just out of a sense of responsibility? It's not just that. I've reviewed the reports and analyses, and unlike you, Marquis, I believe we have a good chance of victory. I am confident I will return safe and sound, but I also understand what it's like for the one who has to wait. Do you want to break off the engagement? Werner frowned immediately. What are you talking about? Rose said. It's not as if you agreed to marry me out of love. I know you need to marry quickly to secure your temporary title, so instead of waiting for me to return from a war I don't know when I'll be back from, it would be faster to call off our engagement and find a new bride, wouldn't it? To put it simply, I'm giving you an out since we're only engaged. Werner shouted. No, I wasn't thinking that at all. Just what kind of person do you think I am? Seeing his intense reaction, Rose laughed in spite of herself. Werner yelled again, why are you laughing? I'm sorry. I just didn't expect you to react so passionately. Come to think of it, why did I get so heated? Is this Ravi's influence? Rose stepped closer. In that case, please wait for me. I'll come back as soon as possible, and don't talk about losing. Werner shyly looked away. That's not something I would usually say. I'm sorry. Huh? It's perfectly fine, but you can't let your guard down, so be careful. Remember that you, the Marquis, gave up an opportunity and chose me. Werner replied shyly. I know, just calm down. My part of the story is over. Is there anything else you're curious about? Do you think the Enoch family will join the war? They will have to. The Enoch family, Ravi's friend, and even the Marquis. The Emperor gave the order directly. I knew it. What on earth am I supposed to do? I felt so numb for a while now. Ravi is going to be so sad. That night, in Ravi's bedroom, a hand suddenly touched her forehead, making her think to herself, ah, this hand is so cool. How can it be so comforting? Gently and affectionately, Ravi reached up to touch the cool hand. Akas, you came? I'm sorry for waking you up. It's fine. When did you get here? I just arrived. You should have told me immediately that you were this sick. I was beating myself up thinking you didn't come because you were mad. But that wasn't it. I was just too busy to make it. It's because things have been so hectic at the Imperial Palace. She sat up and asked curiously, what kind of work? Akas immediately pushed her back down onto the bed and touched her forehead. I'll tell you when you're feeling better. You should get some more sleep for now. She turned on her side and said, I'll listen as soon as I wake up, so don't go anywhere. Please stay with me. Hearing her words, Akas blushed in embarrassment. Okay, I'll stay by your side. Later, Marquis Daya informed him that His Majesty had ordered him to go to battle as well. Hearing this, Akas immediately asked, has it been confirmed? He quickly replied, it has. Since it's a royal command, it's impossible to refuse. I can't believe they're sending the only heir to the battlefield. Even a powerful family must obey, and claiming your skills are exceptional is just a groundless excuse. I'm looking into the reason why, but the order cannot be refused, so first, prepare for deployment. Yes, sir. A moment later, Akas left the room, his mind filled with images of that day with Ravi. He swore to himself that he would say the words he couldn't say last time when they met again. He never thought he'd feel lucky for not confessing. Meanwhile, Ravi sighed, feeling at ease. Last night I felt so peaceful thanks to Akas, but waking up to reality was the beginning of an even worse nightmare. What did you say? You're going to war? There hasn't been any announcement until now, so why all of a sudden? I just heard the news and came straight here. His Majesty the Emperor gave the order himself. Has His Majesty the Emperor lost his mind? Ravi, someone might hear you. I figured this day would come, considering the influence from the proactive efforts of Akatsuki in the war from the original story. I wonder if this is just how things were meant to unfold. But facing it in reality is just horrible. Why did it have to be Akatsuki? Then she asked hesitantly, can't you just not go? I'll help you run away. Hearing her, Akatsuki smiled and replied, Ravi, that's a very tempting offer. Then I'll go pack our things, Akatsuki continued. But I can't put you in danger, Ravi. Even just hearing you say that means a lot. Thank you. Hearing this, Ravi blushed, touched. Is that all you have to say to me? Akatsuki was silent for a moment, his hand gently reaching up to touch her lips. He couldn't find the courage to say what was truly on his mind. I like you, Ravi. That's why I want to protect this place where you are. Even just placing a kiss on her lips was only something he could do in his imagination. I will definitely return to your side, so please wait for me. Seeing Akatsuki remain silent, Ravi's eyes welled up with tears as she asked, is that really all you're going to leave me with? Akas thought to himself, I wish I could tell you how I truly feel, but I don't know what will happen, or how many years it might take. Akka said, even though I haven't been a knight for very long, I'm confident in the experience I have. So you don't need to worry so much. Ravi hesitated. Akkas, that makes me worry even more. Why are they sending you to a place filled with nothing but gruff men? What have I taught you? Ravi suddenly reached out and gently hugged Akatsuki, and asked, when do you leave? Next week. Just the knights will be leaving early in the morning. No public send-off from the people? We're leaving to protect everyone, so just having you here is more than enough for me. Suddenly, Ravi gripped Akatsuki's hand tightly and raised her voice. I haven't had enough of you. Sleep with me before you go. Hearing this, Akatsuki blushed bashfully. What? What? You don't want to? But we won't be able to see each other for a while. We used to sleep together, but we've been sleeping separately ever since you came back. Are my sleeping habits that terrible? What? No. Is that not it? Hearing her say this, he quickly denied it. No, not at all. I'll sleep. Let's sleep together. That's right. I won't feel right while we're apart. It's better if we recover together. Then, blushing beet red, he asked, so do you want to come over to my place for a bit? Of course, there was no reason for Ravi to refuse. Seeing her like that, Akatsuki could only brace himself, thinking he had to be very determined. A little later, Caleb was relaxing leisurely on a tree branch in the garden. Just then, Ravi ran up to the very tree he was resting in. Then she kicked the trunk hard and shouted for Caleb. Everyone knows you're here. Get down here now. Hearing the call, Caleb's eyes shot open. Caleb asked with a bright smile, long time no see, my lady. The evening is still a long way off. What can I do for you? Are those the words of an escort knight? Yes, because freedom is always a good thing. Besides, when it comes to climbing, am I not the best there is? That's right. So today, I'm giving you a chance to show off your talent. Pick out a good wine for me. I'll create a distraction, so sneak out 2 bottles. Oh ho, but my lady, isn't just a few drops of brandy enough to get one's heart racing? What do you need a whole bottle for? That's a secret. In that case, I refuse. No matter what, my lady cannot do something so dangerous. Rejected by him, she asked angrily, really? You won't? Actually, I wanted to know because I thought it would be interesting. What's the reason? Since it's a secret, I have no choice. Actually, I'm trying to take a guy down. Because of another man, the emperor, he has to leave me behind and go away. During that time, whenever I wanted to ask him to sleep with me, he was always busy. I won't be able to sleep with you for a while, so I have to take this chance to sleep with you no matter what. As soon as she finished speaking, she let out a sigh. But in reality, some of it was true and some wasn't. I was only half joking about that part. Because I drank with Caleb, he got jealous, and I have to teach him a lesson. As for Caleb, after hearing her out, he suddenly trembled and called out, my lady, if that's the case, then you must put your faith in Caleb. I will bring you something worthy of your fiery youth. Hearing this, she exclaimed, Caleb, you're the best. But what does this have to do with my youth anyway? Later, a cry suddenly echoed from the wine cellar. Who's there? This cry attracted the attention of the guards, and upon checking, they happened to discover that the voice belonged to Ravi. Miss Raviat, is something wrong? I suddenly feel a little dizzy. Raviat glanced over, signaling to Caleb. Caleb quickly snuck inside. The guard hurriedly said, should I call a doctor? It's not that serious. Just help me up for a moment. She cheered inwardly. Go, Caleb, go. Suddenly, one of the guards suggested, then you take care of the young lady. I have to get back to my post. The wine count has been off lately. I know, she quickly began to. She clutched her shoulder in pain and screamed, the bicep she injured when she was 6 years old. Suddenly, her scream startled the 2 soldiers, who asked in unison, where does it hurt? While the 2 naive soldiers were worried about Ravi, Caleb successfully slipped into the wine cellar. What should we do? Massaging the lady's shoulder first should help, right? I'll massage the right side. So nervous, seeing that Caleb had gotten into the wine cellar, Ravi breathed a sigh of relief. Success. A moment later, he successfully managed to steal the wine, and seeing this, Ravi happily high-fived him and said, that was a classic pincer move. You worked hard. It was nothing. I managed to get a pretty good amount, more than enough. Afterwards, while carrying the jug of wine somewhere, she said, I'm going to enjoy myself to the fullest before Alan arrives, and I'll have a heart-to-heart with Akatsuki while we drink. Could that be a farewell gift? If so, what about the other one? A sword decoration? Ravi was a little confused. A sword decoration? Yes, the charm attached to the end of the sword. It's a knot made to wish for a safe return, which is the dream of all knights, and it's usually made in the color of one's eyes. But my lady's eyes. Hearing this, Ravi pondered for a moment. A little later, at Akatsuki's mansion, he kept pacing back and forth in his room. He remembered the day Ravi suggested, sleep with me, then you should come over to my house sometime. Remembering this, he became flustered and asked himself, why would she say something like that? Even though I'm trying not to leave any regrets, why do I keep getting swept up by Ravi? Just then, Akatsuki heard the sound of a carriage in the courtyard through the window. He saw that Ravi's carriage had arrived. A servant was opening the carriage door for her, and as soon as she stepped down, she joyfully hugged Alan and called out loudly, Alan, you're all better now, right? Yes. I've been waiting and listening for news about you, my lady. That's great. When are we going home together? My lady, what's in that bag? It looks heavy. Oh, it's nothing, and it's not that heavy. Oh no, if Alan finds out, he'll definitely confiscate it. What should I do? In that very moment, someone suddenly grabbed her hand. Ravi looked back and saw that the person holding her hand was Akatsuki. Seeing her savior had arrived, she was so happy she called out loudly, "Akas! Hello, Ravi! I came out to get you." Suddenly, Ravi placed both hands on his chest, unexpectedly leaned into him, and then turned to say to Alan, "It's fine now that Akatsuki is here. Alan, go pack your luggage. Then please give me that bag as well." But she ignored him and quietly requested of Akatsuki, "Don't ask any questions, just pick me up." Listening to her, Akatsuki lifted her into his arms, while she acted as if nothing was wrong. "Akatsuki will take me home, so don't worry. I'm leaving now." Seeing this, Alan could only watch helplessly as she left, while she hurriedly commanded, "Let's go, Akas." So, while carrying her away, Akas gave Alan a mysterious smile. Alan himself wondered, why is he suddenly smiling like that? He was bewildered, asking himself, is it because he's in a good mood? It really looks like that Akas fellow is smiling. As for Ravi, while being carried in Akas's arms, she asked in confusion, "But Akas, did you come back in a hurry? Your hair is all messy. Is that so?" Later, he brought her to his private room, then sighed and complained, "You're heavy as hell. It's because I brought all this stuff, isn't it?" "That's right. But if we only started preparing after you got here, we wouldn't be able to secretly hold a drinking party, right?" At that moment, Akas asked worriedly as he poured the wine, "Are you sure it's okay to drink this? What if my heart starts racing?" Ravi couldn't care less and just urged him on. "Of course it is. Hurry up and pour me some. You said I could do whatever I wanted when I'm with you." "I did say that, but I didn't mean for you to use it in situations like this." Then, their glasses clinked. Ravi sipped her wine and asked cheerfully, "The pretty lady said this was a really good wine, and it smells amazing, right? Drink slowly, or you'll get drunk." "Good grief, you already have your antidote right next to you, so what's the problem? I wasn't sure if my healing ability could even cure alcohol poisoning. I've never researched anything like that. This kind of nagging is no fun at all. I prepared all this because I wanted to see what you like, so why do you keep saying things that kill the mood? Besides, shouldn't I be the one who's worried? Worried I'll get hurt? No, you won't get hurt." From what she knew from reading the novel, not only would he be unharmed, but he would also perform many great deeds, safely defeating the enemy commanders. He had achieved so much, and he would return more magnificent than anyone else. Her words made Akatsuki blush brightly. "Isn't it amazing that you trust me so much?" She suddenly leaned on his shoulder and mumbled, "Because that's just who I am." Akatsuki, confused, uttered, "Huh? Ravi, are you asleep?" Right then, in his head that was spinning from the alcohol, "I need to lift this heavy thing, but it seems I'm too late." Akatsuki, thinking she was drunk, quickly suggested, "If you're going to sleep, you should do it in bed." However, before he could even help her to the bed, she suddenly shot up and yelled, "No! Why would you say I'm asleep? I haven't even gotten a single compliment yet." Ever since she let go, "I'm sorry, let me heal you now." However, Ravi loudly refused. There was a pouch. Suddenly, she started looking for something. "Because I have something I want to give you. Where did it go?" Hearing her say that, he immediately wondered, "What is it?" I don't know. I want to kiss you first." The next morning, Ravi woke up in bed and wondered, "Is it morning? Why is no one next to me? Are you sure Akatsuki was even with me? What happened last night? I can't remember anything. What in the world happened? Is anyone out there?" Alan, who was outside, heard her shouting and rushed in. As soon as Ravi saw him, she quickly ran over to him and asked in a panic, "Alan, where am I?" "This is a guest room in the Anoka residence. Please rest assured, I am here." "I see. But why are you looking at me like that?" "Sir? Looking at you how? Is it because I secretly drank alcohol? I only had one glass." No, one sip." "It's not that. Do you not remember anything else?" "Something else." "Not really, just talking with Akatsuki." Suddenly, a memory of her pressing down on Akatsuki flashed in her mind, which made Ravi panic a little. She told herself she felt like she was starting to remember something. While drinking, she suddenly started to feel hot and nauseous. Then another memory fragment of Akatsuki's panicked cry rang in her head. "Ravi, please, you can't do this!" A crucial piece of the memory was cut off, making Ravi panic. "No way!" At that same moment, in Akatsuki's room, I was staring at the cut on the corner of my lip in the mirror, still feeling a bit dazed from last night. Last night, the wind blew through the room along with my pleas. "Ravi, please, we can't." But Ravi was insistent. Right as she kissed Akatsuki, he managed to say one last thing. "You're really drunk right now. You're definitely going to regret this when you wake up tomorrow." Her kiss made him freeze up and blush. But after kissing him, she said with dissatisfaction, "Why are you so stiff? This isn't how you're going to get home safely." What is she saying? If Alan hadn't come by, something big would have happened. Right at that moment, Alan opened the door and walked in. "I've finished cleaning up. It's time to go home." "Ravi, what do you think you're doing?" Back in the present, Akatsuki was thinking about Ravi. I hurriedly let her sleep in the living room. She must be awake by now. Suddenly, he heard a commotion outside and wondered, why is it so noisy out there? It turned out Ravi was trying to convince Alan. "Don't stop me. I need to see Akatsuki right now." "Please wait a moment. Akatsuki needs some time too. If you're going to stop me like this, then why don't you just tell me what I did?" "I don't know the exact details." "Then just tell me what you saw." So, just as he was describing the scene he saw yesterday, Akatsuki suddenly opened the door. The story was, the young miss was attacking Sir Akatsuki. Akatsuki shyly spoke up, "Hi, Ravi." Ravi was embarrassed, thinking that he could still be so calm at a time like this. Good morning, Akatsuki. Akatsuki was secretly flustered. I was so eager to stop Alan that I rushed out too fast. Ravi was bewildered, wondering to herself, I don't remember anything, but why do I feel so regretful? Seeing this, Alan was helpless, so he just went ahead and pushed Ravi into Akatsuki's room and said, there's no other way, I'll go call a car, so you two can talk about your unfinished business. His actions made Ravi scream in panic. Alan, why? You're my escort. Officially, it's still a vacation, so I'm doing this. This is also punishment for bullying me yesterday, so you'd better talk things out properly. So Ravi was locked in the room with Akatsuki, feeling utterly indignant. How outrageous. Alan, how dare you abandon me at a time like this? What should I do now? Then, she mustered all her courage and called out to Akatsuki. I don't know anything, so I'll just apologize first. I'm sorry. Please don't cut ties with me. I just wanted to make good memories. There's nothing more embarrassing than leaving behind terrible memories that I can't even properly recall. Wait, hold on, Ravi. You really don't remember? Then why are you apologizing? Huh, did I do something wrong to you? Hearing that, Akatsuki replied bluntly. No, how could you even think of something like that? But Ravi felt like something was off. Since I wasn't feeling well, I thought I must have gotten drunk and thrown up. Besides, Alan didn't tell me anything at all. Akatsuki insisted, nothing happened. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't seem like nothing happened, does it? Especially with this lip. It took me until yesterday to finally do that. I didn't hit him, did I? My pride won't let me say anything. Akatsuki, give me your hand. So she gave him a small ornament, which even had a lock of her hair on it. Is this a decoration for a sword? Yeah, I was supposed to give it to you yesterday, but I guess I was too drunk and forgot. Can't this make up for what happened yesterday? You made this? Did you hurt your fingers? I'm not good with embroidery, but I'm great at things like this. If you don't believe me, then don't take it. I'll take it back. Suddenly, Akath pulled her close. I was just kidding. Of course I believe you. There's no way I wouldn't recognize your hair color. Thank you. I'll return safely. Yeah, be safe, Akath. And 2 days later, Akath left. Just like in a novel, as you turn each page, how wonderful it would be if time just passed by. In any case, preparing for a farewell is so difficult. The longing always lingered. As Ravi stood at the window watching Akath leave with the army for battle, Alan approached and said, My lady, you can't see them from here. I know. However, I kept waiting, and what was bound to happen, happened. Even though there was no news from Akath for the next 3 years, the war began. The entire sky was dyed blood red as the commander-in-chief led the attack. Enoch, Duke Enoch, rode on horseback, raising his sword with great vigor as he and his army charged Prince Philip's forces. Rose and Akath led the southern front. The enemy's morale seemed to have faltered a bit, but our forces suffered considerable losses in every battle. The enemy's allies also held strong, and the war was not yet over. At the Daiha estate, time simply passed by. At the estate, Ravi socialized with other noble ladies and lords to pass the time, until the rustling red maple leaves announced the arrival of autumn, and then again when white snow fell, covering the treetops. It was now winter, the estate dotted white with falling snowflakes. Ravi wrote worriedly in her letter, Is Akath still doing well? It's warm where you are in the south, but I'm always worried you might catch a cold. She looked much more mature now. Her shimmering golden hair captivated so many young men at the temple, making them blush shyly. In the letter, she added, My brother is still doing well. I heard he's recently been recognized at the royal palace, and it seems he's been exchanging letters with Rose quite often. She knew this because she had hidden behind her brother many times to secretly read their letters. Thankfully, they weren't separated this time. Why don't you write back to me? I only get news about you through Rose's letters or articles. Besides, the newspapers aren't reliable. The paper said your hair is red. She remembered one time she found news about him in an article and insisted her brother have the information corrected. Brother, please demand a correction for this immediately. Are you sure? I know it's very difficult to write back, but I miss you. Outside the temple, Alan waited in the hall and saw Ravi arrive. You took quite a while today, didn't you? Yeah, I was praying for a little too long. She thought to herself, why isn't it working? Why is it so crowded? Alan, meanwhile, was glaring at the young men who were sneaking glances at her. She said, annoyed, I really don't get it. Should we head back then? No, I have to do the thing I do every day. Every time she came to the temple, there was one thing she couldn't miss, and that was searching for a young priest with immense divine power. Alan watched, confused, as she continuously jotted notes on the paper in her hand. If you need divine power, wouldn't a high priest be better then? Why are you so insistent on finding a young priest? She cheekily replied to Alan. Isn't it about time I started looking? What do you think I'd want with a guy my age? Alan was stunned into realization. Don't tell me. Ravi looked up and said, that's right, to get married. What were you thinking? I'm almost 20 years old, so it's about time. Then should the guy you recently befriended also meet a priest? All the guys I've met so far? Yep, Ravi replied casually while Alan was frozen stiff. But I guess I just have bad taste in men. Why is every guy I meet so unique? One was already married, one wanted to use me as a stepping stone to raise his status, and one lied about his age when he was only 15. And then there was the one who was way too handsy. Saying this, both of them immediately thought of that deceitful priest. That guy was the worst, but he wasn't a knight, was he? We ended up fighting because of you. Caleb lied that he was a knight who also had healing abilities. Excuse me, but my lady, did you write about the men? In your letters to Akatsuki? Of course I did. I just wonder if he'll get to read them. But at that very moment, on the southern front lines, that letter had been opened by Akatsuki and was laid neatly on his desk. Next to it were many other envelopes, all handwritten letters from her to him. Akatsuki gently fastened his gloves. Then, he attached his sword to his belt. Just then, a figure lifted the tent flap. Captain, are you in here? I've prepared everything you asked for. Akatsuki glanced over and asked Levin in a cold voice, where were we ambushed last time? In the Louisiana forest, sir. Hearing that, Akatsuki clenched the paper in his hand. Then there's a high probability their leader is still around, isn't there? After that, he said, we're moving out at dawn today. I've secured enough food and lodging for a week. Right, wait a minute, Commander. What about the permit? Akatsuki paused. If we win, it won't be a problem. Hearing that, Levine followed behind him, grumbling. It's not that simple. Let's talk for a second. Where are you going now? I want to be alone. Don't follow me. And so, Akatsuki went into the forest alone. Thud. With a single strike, Akatsuki drove his sword deep into a tree trunk, then hung his head and sighed. What's the deal with these boyfriends? What are Akatsuki and Alan even up to? I'm almost 20 years old. I should be able to see someone too. But they're all such bad news. And why are they all priests? Is it because I visit the temple so often? At this thought, Akatsuki imagined a beautiful Ravi in an elegant white dress, standing next to some priest in a white suit. With me, even after all this time living together, we couldn't become a couple. Damn it, those animals. What have they done to a girl who's so dense about love? I can't believe Ravi made a move on 4. No, more than 5 guys before me. What am I gonna do when I get back? Meanwhile, back with Ravi, she suddenly sneezed. Alan hurried over with a jacket. Oh dear. Are you catching a cold? She shivered slightly. No, I just suddenly got the chills. I wonder why. In the south, where Akatsuki's troops were stationed, Akatsuki thought gloomily, I want to go back right now. If only I could write a letter. Why in the world can't he write letters? Those were the words Duke Enoch, his father, had exclaimed when he found out about the no-letter rule. At that time, he slammed the table in a rage and asked the other person, why is it dangerous? The only explanation they received was a letter from a high-ranking noble, delivered by the 7th Prince. I can't grasp their exact intentions. I have to try and stop our information from being leaked. Whether it's the external situation or an emotional weakness, what kind of weakness is it? It's just a personal message to Ravi. Could they be the eyes and ears of the 7th Prince? The flames of anger inside him erupted uncontrollably. Damn it. The 2 people sitting over there whispered, it's because of that pink letter again this time, right? 3 months ago, everything got messed up when he received that gift. I really don't want to remember that day. That terrifying memory has been brought back. The sight of a town engulfed in blazing flames, red blood pooling all over the ground. Even Akatsuki's boots were stained with fresh blood, standing next to some victim lying crushed on the ground. Usually, when a letter arrives, it's very urgent, but that day he also witnessed a raid on civilian homes. Thinking back, he was like a madman, annihilating all the enemy remnants in that region. A tall figure with soulless eyes, his clothes soaked in fresh blood. The scene at that time was utterly terrifying. Luckily, Rose arrived in time to stop him. They whispered to each other, if Lady Salome hadn't stopped him, we might have been slashed to pieces too. He was covered in so much blood, even his hair was red. The 2 of them sighed wearily. Just who the hell sent a letter like that? It was truly quiet outside. Only Rose's voice could be heard echoing from the tent. Look here, it seems there's an interesting plan. Let's lead the show with the Legion, Akatsuki said with annoyance. I don't care what you heard or if they're coming. The answer is no. I know you'll act without my permission anyway, but it'll be awkward if you fail. Akatsuki glanced at her doubtfully. She gave an innocent smile. You should at least hear the plan, shouldn't you? The dark forest favors the enemy. We'll set all sorts of traps underground and in the trees, but it's still a joint operation either way. We'll deploy the troops, leveraging individual tendencies as our strength. This time we attack before dawn. 1 unit will draw everyone's attention. Rose will take on that mission. According to the strategy, if the minions leave the center of the forest, our army will find the enemy's commander-in-chief on the opposite side, and then extract information from him. I'm very confident in that kind of work. Akatsuki stood there scowling, speechless. What will you do to help me? I know you don't particularly like me. What are you talking about? I've always wanted to be on good terms with Marquis Enoch. You probably wouldn't believe me even if I told you. But this is for personal reasons, just like theirs. I also have a reason to return early. Outside, the flickering fire was dying down, and the knights asked each other, oh, by the way, have you seen the sword decorations on Salome and Sir Akatsuki? Yeah, they're the same color, right? Don't tell me they made them for each other? No way. Whenever they meet, it gets chilly. They both love the same person, so does that make them love rivals? An image of a blushing winner flashed through their minds. This is so complicated. But neither of them expected that this conversation was heard by Rose and Akatsuki. Akatsuki's face darkened as he said, no matter what, that sword ornament is upsetting me, so can you take it off? Why is he saying such strange things? Rose sighed helplessly. Why me? If anyone should take one off, then Mr. Gate is the one who should take his off. Mr. Agate's is a symbol of friendship, but mine is a charm from my fiancé. A memory of that day flashed before her eyes at the Salome mansion. Before she left for battle, a voice echoed through the estate. No matter what kind of fiancé you are, this is quite improper. What brings you here, Marquis Dia? Seeing him like this, Rose secretly laughed to herself. He looks like a rain-soaked puppy again. Wanting to tease him mercilessly, she thought to herself and asked, I wonder if you'd like to take back what you said last time? Hearing this, Werner flinched his face, turning even redder. He grabbed her arm and quickly explained, it's not that, then he pulled her into an embrace. This was an unexpected reaction. But why is his body temperature so high? She softly called out to him, Marquis Dia, as he lowered his head. Be careful on your journey, and you must reply to my letters. She opened her eyes wide, lost in thought. I am a knight before I am anyone's wife. I've never hesitated to go to war before, but thinking about this, she gently raised her soft hands. I wonder if he regrets not being able to see this expression of mine. At her sudden action, he said shyly, Right, I have something for you. What is it? He hesitated and turned away. It's for that, he said, as he took out a sword ornament. I heard carrying this brings good luck, which surprised her. After she stood frozen in place for a long moment, he coughed, If you don't like it, I guess it can't be helped. But on second thought, one side of his hair was strangely short. Having given her the gift, he quickly said his goodbyes. Well, then I'll be on my way. But just as he lifted his foot before he could even turn, she quickly stopped him. Wait. Then she pulled him down, planted a quick kiss on his cheek, and hurriedly let go. 5 years? No, just wait. 3 years. I'll be waiting to see what you do when I come back. Returning to the present. After explaining everything to Agate that night, she stroked her red hair. Because of that, I already made a promise. He frowned unhappily. I don't know, but I'm a bit irritated. Up until now, my reaction has been one of displeasure, so let's just end this war quickly. Time passed and spring arrived once more. The Imperial Army began its assault on Luciana, achieving victory after victory as 7 enemy commanders were executed by the Marquise's own hand. Enoch recovered most of the territory that had been lost over the years. Articles about the victory and illustrations of the leaders were printed and circulated in newspapers across the country. Ravi, holding a stack of papers, smiled with delight. It's been all good news from the Akatsuki lately, but why are only the Akatsuki's troops being pushed to their limits? Is it because he's too nice that he's being taken advantage of? A voice suddenly cut her off. Ravi, if you keep getting pushed around like that, you'll get hurt. Look, you're already bleeding. Ravi exclaimed internally. Ah, this is bliss. The other priests have used their divine powers before, but this is the first time I've ever seen it used like this. His face is cute and gentle too. This is Test, the priest I've been seeing often lately. Maybe because he hasn't been in the capital for long, he's not like the other priests who are corrupted by material greed. He took care of me unconditionally from the very first time, and his strangely pure aura reminds me of Akatsuki. Of course, Akatsuki is a little cuter. Unlike the trash I've met before, he looks very elegant and neat. Is my life going smoothly now? Just then, Tess spoke up, the newspaper. That seems to be news about someone very close to you. That's right, your best friend, young but with outstanding achievements, right? So adorable. Tess thought to himself, Akatsuki Enoshima, so she's a friend of Duke Enoshima. So Henshiko Kurabi comes here often to pray for that person, right? I thought you came because you missed me. I feel so embarrassed for some reason. Ravi's jaw dropped, her face red with embarrassment. She was stunned and thought to herself, what? This guy likes me too? This is already our 5th time meeting. Maybe it's time we started seeing each other more seriously. With that thought, she called out, Test. Only then did he let go of her hand. Ah, the healing is done. She looked at her hand, her eyes wide with surprise. She thought to herself, the bleeding stopped, but it left a scar. His healing ability is definitely weaker than Akatsuki's. Well, that makes sense. Akatsuki would pour all his energy into it until I was completely healed. Thinking of this, she suddenly recalled that familiar figure. Is it because they both have healing powers? No matter who I meet, I always compare them to Akatsuki. Tess suddenly stood up, smiled, and said, well, I'm off. You should take care of yourself. Thanks a lot, Tess. Then she thought, I'll probably tell him next time. That evening, at the Marquis' mansion, a firm voice rang out, no way, you are absolutely not to meet that priest today. She asked in frustration, what is it? What's with the sudden lecture? It's not like any priest has ever caught your eye, Alan. This time it's not about that. His background is unclear. Raviat asked angrily, don't tell me you did a background check on him? Alan quickly turned his head, avoiding her scrutinizing gaze. Your ladyship's tendencies. Ah, no, your taste in men is terrible. Oh my, I can't deny that. What's gotten into you? You never say much when I meet other priests. That man came straight to the capital without doing an internship. No matter how you spin it, that's not right. Maybe Alan's status is higher than I thought. Even so, it's not normal to have no trace of his past. She frowned and thought, geez, Alan is so persistent. I don't think so. Then she spoke up, you're very good at nagging me, Alan. Me. What about me? Alan isn't good at dating either. I heard he's been dumped every single time. Those words were like an arrow straight through his heart. It's just that I plan on living alone. Why? It's not like I've never dated at all. You have a handsome face, a decent job, and very long vacations. So what on earth is the problem? Alan recalled. The first girl with short hair had scolded him. Can you stop talking about your lady for 1 second? Another girl also said, how can you say the exact same thing every time we meet? Is your lady the only person you know? It's boring as hell. If your lady is so great, you should just date her instead. At this point, Alan told himself, there's absolutely no way I can say that's the case. So he tried to gloss it over. I don't know. Ravi outside. Seriously, is this really the time to be laughing like that? Silly Alan. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Alan gently opened it to find Jenny holding a letter. Seeing her, Alan said, I'm sorry, the young lady is asleep. What brings you here at this hour? Ah, well, a letter has arrived from Master Akatsuki. The voices reached Ravi as she lay in bed, startling her awake. She rushed to the door. Give it to me, now. She held the letter in her hands, thinking this must be a dream. The moment she opened the red envelope, it revealed a handwritten letter. It was placed neatly inside. Tears welled up in her eyes. Ah, it says, Ravi, the war is over. She hugged the letter to her chest. It's finally over. Jenny called out softly with concern. My lady? Ravi was now incredibly happy. Akatsuki is coming home. The blue flag of victory waved proudly in the vast sky. Rose, Akatsuki, and Duke Enoch stood among the bodies scattered across the ground. Their cloaks billowed gently in the wind. Akatsuki's face was covered with scratches, but his eyes were firm and calm. After the fierce war, his resolve was unshaken. Now I will return. Akatsuki took a cloth and carefully wiped at a bloodstain. Rose asked, What have you been trying to clean all this time? It got stained with blood in the final battle. Can't you just wash it? I don't like things getting dirty, even with my own blood. It's my own blood. Suddenly, a voice rang out, drawing both of their gazes. There are two people over there. Felix ran over excitedly from a distance. Are you heading back right away? Rose cheerfully pointed to herself. That's right. You're going to thank me, aren't you? So I can have the negotiation table all to myself. Felix said. It would be so much better if you didn't go back and stayed here to help us. Wasn't it thanks to the efforts of those two that we received the enemy's surrender? They wished to properly reward Marquis Rose and Duke Enoch. Akatsuki quickly spoke up. Your Highness, even our negotiating position can't be that soft. Rose, beside him, chimed in. Since we have the advantage, we must negotiate carefully. His expression was bewildered, as if it wasn't getting through to him at all. Seeing their business was concluded, Rose hurried to leave with Akatsuki. Well then, we'll be on our way. Felix sighed and bid them farewell, seeing no other choice. See you at the Imperial Palace. And with that, the two of them left. Felix rested his chin in his hand and sighed, looking like he could just die. Akatsuki looked at Rose beside him. I've prepared a fine carriage. Let's go together, Akatsuki. Felix clasped his hands, gazing at the beautiful evening sky. Soon, there would be news of a wedding. A carriage forged ahead. Inside the carriage, Rose hugged her shoulders and sighed. You really are a handful. Wouldn't it be better to ride horses into the capital? Across from her, Akatsuki gazed out the window. I don't know. Don't mind me, just do as you wish. So that means we don't have to travel together anymore, right? Aren't I going to be part of the family soon anyway? So wouldn't it be better for us to get along? Akatsuki said, in any case, it's a political marriage. Hearing this, Rose covered her mouth to stifle a laugh. It's still better than being like someone who can't even talk about marriage because they're afraid of ruining the friendship. So if we maintain this distance, nothing will ever change. Is it fun for you to tease me? Rose beamed, showing her true feelings. It was my only joy during the war, since I couldn't do it for so long. So now I'm trying to get as much done as possible, even though I really want to see Ravi soon, but... Looking out the window, she quickly reminded Akatsuki that he should find out what His Majesty is thinking. Otherwise, he'll have to watch out for it when he returns. The Emperor's gaze. Akatsuki was silent with a somber look in his eyes. Not a word needed to be said. I also know about the houses collapsing in a sea of flames. The war, the Emperor, and the priest. Why are there so many things against us? I just want to be by Ravi's side. A heartfelt letter came with a picture of Ravi cradling a bouquet in someone's arms. Akatsuki, I've met someone. At this thought, Akatsuki's expression darkened completely. I can't take this anymore. The spot next to Ravi is mine, and I don't want anything getting in the way of our relationship anymore. I just have to keep telling her I like her. How do I keep you from running away? At the Marquis's mansion, a knock sounded at the door. Alan stood looking at Ravi, who was lying wearily in bed. You're awake? The doctor said you have a cold, so you're probably feeling sore. No wonder I feel dizzy and am coughing. That's so weird. I was perfectly fine yesterday. By the window, Alan gripped the latch, glancing back at her. Maybe you felt relieved after receiving Akatsuki's letter, and that's why. The exhaustion hits you once the tension is gone. For now, just focus on getting some rest. Oh my gosh, lying in bed, my face is all flushed. I must have been stressed without even realizing it. What? When Akatsuki left, the painful days just increased, and I realized the peace that I had been enjoying all this time was just an illusion. Since I was 7 years old, holding Akatsuki's hand, it was just a fragile illusion that was difficult to maintain. This is my reality. At that thought, Ravi curled into a ball, pulling the blanket tighter. If only Akatsuki were here at times like this. No, that's not a good way to think. Akatsuki has his own life, and I'm not a child anymore. I have to get through this by myself now. Just a few seconds later, Ravi shakily shot up in bed. I'm going out, she declared, startling Alan. What are you saying? You need to rest on a day like today, Ravi shouted. Don't try to stop me. Alan just doesn't understand me. Ravi's attitude left Alan stunned and bewildered. Being sick is truly terrible, but what's worse is just lying here doing nothing. After a few seconds, she planted her feet on the ground and began to walk unsteadily. Ravi thought to herself as she walked, if the test doesn't work, I'll have to find the next priest. I need to hurry and find someone to marry. The next morning, Ravi stood in front of the mansion's gate. If I go with Alan, he'll just nag me. When I'm this frustrated, it's better to go alone. Today, I'll try to use the frail and sickly concept to get some sympathy. Suddenly, a voice rang out calling her name. Ravi? She quickly turned her head. That voice, could it be? Yes, it's Ravi. Long time no see. Ravi stared blankly and asked, Who are you, Falcon? I am Falcon. So that was his name. But I guess we're not on a first-name basis anymore. Huh? You're as cold as ever. Falcon gently lifted Ravi's hand. I missed you, Ravi. This man is Falcon Smith, son of Count Smith from a family with a long and storied history. He discovered his divine power and became a priest. He was my first boyfriend, but there was one problem. He was also the boyfriend of 9 other girls. Falcon caressed Ravi's fingers, saying, After we broke up, Ravi, I did a lot of soul-searching. I've already taken care of that other girl and it wasn't the kind of relationship you think it was. Ravi trembled as she snatched her hand back. That has nothing to do with me. Let go of my hand. Ignoring her, Falcon kept begging. Come on, please just think about it again. Ravi sighed helplessly. I want to refuse, but I don't have the strength. I can't give this up either. Isn't it because my body is already so weak? Annoyed by his teasing, Ravi got angry. Do you want to die? You tell me what would happen if I screamed right now. Ravi, do you really not need me anymore? I heard you're only meeting with priests, but I can give you what you want. Her hand trembled. Why don't I have the strength to refuse someone like him? On the contrary, I even think I shouldn't refuse. Just having that light would make me feel better, like a burning fire. The dizzying fever would also disappear if I just grabbed that hand. Falcon pulled that light back into his hand, but before that, apologize for talking bad about me. You hurt my feelings. She frowned. This guy is unbelievable. I'm going to go crazy. No matter how hungry you are, you shouldn't eat trash. I'd give anything to just slap him. Seizing the moment, Falcon Milo urged, Come on, hurry up. Suddenly, footsteps approached softly. Get away from Ravi! Behind Ravi, the tall and muscular Akatsuki appeared. Ravi's eyes widened in complete shock. Akatsuki. Akatsuki looked down and told Ravi to go on ahead. But Falcon still held Ravi's hand tightly. Who are you? Mind your own business and just keep walking. Or what? Akatsuki quickly drew his blade. Maybe it'd be faster to just cut that hand off? Falcon froze, stunned by his words, and slowly his hand let go of Ravi. She just ran straight to Akatsuki. Then she threw herself into his arms happily. Is it really you? Yeah, it's me, Ravi whispered. There's something I wanted to do when Akatsuki returned. Then she quickly turned her head to look at Falcon in front of them and raised her hand high. A slap flew straight into Falcon's face, making him spit. Don't ever appear before me again, you scumbag. She slapped him so hard she lost her balance and fell backward, and Akatsuki caught her right in his arms. Being held by the man she missed, her face was full of bliss. Life is truly full of surprises, Falcon said, holding his cheek. Ravi, how could you do that to me, even though it didn't hurt at all? As soon as he finished, Akatsuki, still holding Ravi, kicked Falcon straight in the stomach. It sent him flying. Don't say her name so casually. Ravi doesn't like it. Whoa, now that's gonna hurt. Later, Ravi sat on her bed in a daze, thinking, this isn't a dream, is it? Akatsuki came back and chased Falcon away. And he healed me, and brought me all the way to my bedroom. It was so sudden it doesn't quite feel real. Should I try pinching myself? Then she looked over at Alan, who was standing nearby avoiding her gaze. You didn't hear anything just now? He replied dismissively. I didn't hear a thing. Ravi laughed and said, I thought it was Falcon, screaming. I didn't realize I'd casually cursed him to break his leg earlier. Akatsuki, who was peeking through the door, thought to himself. That wish came true. Ravi quickly asked, but where did Akatsuki go just now? He went back. Oh, he did? Ravi turned away. Alan added, yes, it seems Akatsuki has changed a little. A memory flooded back to her. Ravi, come here now. In that moment, I hesitated unconsciously. She looked at him hesitantly because this was the first time Akatsuki had called to me like that, with an expression I'd never seen before. In that brief, strange moment, a piercing scream rang out. Ah, please stop. Stop right now, I give up. I'll never see Miss Ravi again. Akatsuki stepped on his head and asked, what exactly did you do just now? What did you do after Ravi told you to stop? Falcon, pinned to the ground, said, I was wrong. Back at the mansion, Alan called out, Hey, I wonder if Miss Ravi hates Akatsuki's changed appearance, thinking back to the atmosphere from earlier. No, it seems like Akatsuki still likes Miss Ravi. From the bed, Ravi turned and asked, So, what do you like about it and what do you hate? We're friends, you know. He was just worried my personality might have changed. It's probably because she didn't get to see her brother. Alan thought to himself, her reaction is the hardest to read. She was just a little surprised. The pink hair that I like is still the same, and thinking back, I could feel his body heat from behind me. The feeling of his hug is definitely still the same. The only difference is his body is firmer now. Miss Ravi, your face is still red. Are you okay? She quickly replied, I'm fine. Alan, you may leave now. She thought to herself, my fever still hasn't broken. Why is my face suddenly getting so hot? Out in the mansion hallway, Akatsuki walked and thought to himself, I lost my cool as soon as I arrived. I only found out after reading the letter and seeing that image of Ravi with another man. I can give you what you want. I didn't expect Ravi to make that expression. If I'd known, I would have messed things up more. No, I need to get a grip. Seeing Ravi is the priority right now. Akatsuki called out, "Excuse me, Ravi, may I come in?" From inside, she cheerfully agreed. "Yep, come on in." With her permission, he turned the doorknob and entered. It sounded like her voice was coming from extremely close, and suddenly Akatsuki froze. Ravi was standing cheerfully right in front of him. "Hurry and come in." Seeing her rush toward him, Akatsuki asked in surprise, "Ravi, why are you standing so close to the door?" Ravi explained, "I'm standing far enough away that I wouldn't get hit by the door. Now that you've stepped in, you can see, we didn't even get to greet each other properly earlier. Are you not happy with this welcome?" Akatsuki pulled her into a hug. "No, I'm very happy." The two embraced like that. "I really missed you, Ravi. I missed you a lot too. But you didn't send me any letters, you dummy. I'm sorry about that, there was a reason. Forgive me, Ravi." Unable to hold back his emotions, Akatsuki leaned his face close to hers. Ravi suddenly remembered something, and placing a hand on his cheek said, "Well then, I'll have to confirm it directly instead." She pulled Akatsuki and tossed him onto the bed. Seeing Ravi stand before him with her arms crossed, Akatsuki asked, "The bed? Hold on, I'm checking if you're injured anywhere." Ravi gently lifted Akatsuki's chin. "Nope, you really did return safe and sound, with no injuries or scars. At first glance, everything seems normal." She thought, that gentle and innocent expression is definitely the Akatsuki I used to know. Ravi's face began to flush. I was definitely mistaken earlier. Akatsuki asked, "Are you going to keep staring at me like this?" Ravi replied calmly, "Yeah, are you getting shy? Though I suppose a closer inspection isn't really necessary." "What are you doing?" Akatsuki grabbed his collar, quickly stripping off his jacket and tossing it on the bed. His toned body was revealed. Akatsuki's hands kept moving to unbutton his shirt, making Ravi cover her eyes as her face turned bright red. "Akatsuki, what are you doing? You said you wanted to check if I was conscious? You can't tell just by looking at my face." Ravi's face was completely flushed. "Well, that may be so, but I'm going crazy. I can't take my eyes off that body." Ravi's eyes were glued to his six-pack. "Akatsuki, do you really think you can joke around like this? After all, Akatsuki has a really great body. I have a bad feeling about this." She clenched her fists, shut her eyes tightly, and screamed, "No, I can't look. Ravi Estella, where did you learn to be like this?" She fell silent with a shy expression, oblivious to Akatsuki's adoring gaze. "I'm only showing you because you said you wanted to check." Akatsuki took Ravi's hand, pressing it directly against his firm, muscular chest. "If it's hard to tell by looking, then check like this." She quickly snatched her hand back. "Wait, hold on. What in the world? Who on earth turned this innocent child into someone like this?" Ravi buttoned up Akasa's shirt, hanging her head helplessly. "Ah, Akas. The thing is, it's actually a problem with my heart." Akatsuki lowered his gaze slightly. "But you used to be like this before. I can do anything in front of you." Memories of a young Akatsuki and Ravi flooded back, of the care she showed him that year. "Akatsuki, if it's you, I'm willing to accept everything." Then, back in the present, Akatsuki's hand slowly touched Ravi's chin. "Even though I said that was several years ago." Their feet stood close together, their gazes affectionate. "Ravi, breathe." She was surprised. "Huh?" She quickly turned her head to the side. "Am I holding my breath? Is that why my heart is beating so fast?" Catching her breath, Ravi blamed Akatsuki. "Well, it's because your face is too close to mine." Suddenly, he noticed Ravi's face was flushed from holding her breath. "If that's the case, then what should I do?" Akatsuki's face gradually reddened as he moved right in front of her. "There are so many things I want to do with you," but hearing his words, she froze in embarrassment for a few seconds, facing Akatsuki like a statue. "What on earth are you planning to do?" she stammered. "Why have you been like this the whole time? This kind of joke isn't funny." Every time they touched, Ravi felt strange, her whole body tensing up as Akatsuki's lips drew close to her ear. When she received a lot of energy from Akatsuki, it felt just like this. A sweet kiss was planted by Akatsuki on her blushing cheek. She covered the spot he had just kissed with her hand. "Akatsuki, are you even listening to me?" Akatsuki replied softly, "I'm still listening, but if you don't like it, you should say so clearly. You're the one who said it, right? That if I didn't like it, I'd say no. A moment ago, did you really not like it?" Ravi was suddenly lost in thought. It wasn't that she disliked it, but seeing her like that, Akatsuki gently coaxed her. "Really, I can't answer that right now." But as soon as the words left her mouth, he hugged Ravi, kissed her cheek, then moved closer to her arm. "Akatsuki, wait!" In a few seconds, Akatsuki's lips were nibbling on Ravi's ear, and it seemed her emotions were overflowing. Ravi's hands held onto his shoulders. "It's not that I don't like it, but what is this feeling anyway? This feeling is completely different from when I'm recovering." In an instant, a scream echoed everywhere. "Stop! Just stop!" Ravi pushed Akatsuki away with her hands. "Why do you keep kissing me like this? Is it for the treatment?" The question made him lower his head, blushing bright red. "It's not for the treatment," she stammered. "Huh? Then why? Why are you doing this?" "Akas, besides for treatment, what other reason would you have to touch me?" Ravi carefully analyzed a whole list of reasons. "Those aren't reasons why normal people kiss." Looking at her, Akas confessed, "I like you. I've always liked you." The shock made Ravi jump in alarm. There was no way Akase could like her. What? What are you even saying right now? But he still insisted. I said I've liked you for a very long time, making her head spin for a moment. Ravi was completely floored by his words. What are you talking about? The one you like is my brother. Akase's face darkened as he immediately retorted. Absolutely not. As Ravi recounted the things Akase used to say, he asked, why on earth would you think that? You came over to play often, you like blonde hair and blue eyes, you read books just like my brother, and also, suddenly, she pressed her lips shut. What about the kiss in the original novel? Akase composed himself, looked at Ravi, and explained, it was all because of you, Ravi. You think all those things you mentioned were because of Winner? Or was it because of Ravi, with her blue hair and eyes, a house like Winner's, who only reads books because she has no stamina? She was frozen solid as she asked, is that really true? Akase stated firmly, I don't like men. I've only ever liked you, Ravi. She stood there in a daze. Ravi clutched her head, steadying herself against the wall as she felt dizzy. It's really not my brother Winner? Wait a second. Her hand pressed against the window pane. Then what have I been doing all this time? And more importantly, since when exactly? Ravi thought back to 3 years ago, in the carriage, when they fell asleep soundly in each other's arms. If not then, maybe it was during the attack, when Akase held Ravi in his arms. Could it have been even longer ago than that? Ravi turned her face away, refusing to even glance at Akase. Akase, to what extent did my actions back then show it? Since I was 5? No, that's not it. I can't remember exactly. You're lying! How could you not remember a time frame like that? I really truly don't remember. I'm serious. Not as a friend. I like you as a woman. Ravi's face flushed red once again. She quickly turned back towards the window. Well, either way, I can't just believe it right away. I never once thought you were into girls. Hearing Ravi's words, Akase's expression turned a little sad. A hand suddenly appeared in front of her face, startling her. If you had known, things wouldn't have been this way for so long. She glanced back. Huh? When did you get behind me? Then I'll just have to prove it to you. What? Prove what? That you like girls? Hey, what are you talking about now? How do you even prove something like that? Akase, however, just smiled. Who knows? Some idea must have popped into Ravi's head. Her face flushed as she said quickly, what exactly do you mean by that? Never mind, you don't have to do it. Oh really? That's a shame. They faced each other for a few seconds before she bolted. For now, we'll talk about this again later. Seeing Ravi run off, Akase could only sigh as he watched her go. Geez, she ran away. The sound of footsteps echoed through the mansion's hallway. It was her, sprinting away. I really can't believe it. Akase and me? How is that possible? Her expression was bewildered. Something is definitely not right. On an afternoon filled with the glow of the setting sun, in a picturesque garden, Akase approached and called out, Found you. He stood by a tree, looking down at Ravi who was sitting beneath it. Ravi, why are you avoiding me? Seeing Akase, with leaves stuck in her hair, she stammered, Me? When did I ever do that? He pressed on, I haven't even done anything yet, and you've already run away. Haven't done what? Akase suddenly knelt down. Keep talking, he said with a clearly amused look. What kind of kiss was that? Ravi was internally tearing her hair out. Why does this situation suddenly feel so judgmental? After staring at her for a moment, Akatsuki proposed, Why are your eyes closed? This time, let me kiss you on the lips. Ravi's mouth fell open in shock as she bluntly refused, their voices echoing across the grounds. Are you going to keep saying that? Akatsuki asked with an innocent face. What is it? She clenched her fists and stammered, I already told you I was just testing you. I mean, it would be a better test on the lips, you know? Are you shy? Akatsuki lowered his head and whispered, Why not? It's not like it's your first kiss or anything. They both froze, staring at each other. Ravi's mind felt dizzy, her eyes mesmerized. What are you even saying now? I've never kissed anyone before, unless... Her heart was suddenly filled with jealousy towards all the guys who swarmed around Akatsuki. Has this guy already had a kiss on the battlefield? I guess so. Since he's this handsome, there's no way it wouldn't have happened. Or do you think that just because I've met other people, this isn't a first for me? If so, you're sorely mistaken. Her body trembled as she knelt on the ground. Lowering her face before Akatsuki, she stammered, I. Ravi then lifted her head and confessed, If I kiss you now, it'll be my very first kiss. Her words left Akase stunned for a moment, then he covered his mouth and began to chuckle. You still don't remember, huh? She stared at him, bewildered. Why are you laughing? What do you mean I don't remember? Akatsuki gazed at Ravi intently. His hand lifted a lock of her golden hair. Try to remember carefully. How strange, Ravi thought. I've never thought of Akatsuki as just some other person. So why am I so flustered? Is it because he's changed so much in the time we haven't seen each other? Or is it because his confession has me all confused? I don't remember. She shut her eyes tightly, thinking of the past she had kept hidden. After all this time, why would he confess so suddenly? Akase leaned back and looked at Ravi. I don't have much to say about that. To be honest, I wanted to prepare clothes and a gift for you from the very moment you first made my heart race. Akase knelt before Ravi, presenting a bouquet of flowers like a marriage proposal. But as soon as I got here, I saw an unpleasant sight. I admit I acted a bit impulsively. The image of that falcon guy holding her hand earlier flooded his thoughts. Seeing Akatsuki get sidetracked, Ravi raised a fist in anger. We talked about that person in a letter. You didn't have any reaction at the time. Wait, Ravi, the back of your hand is hurt. Ravi quickly snatched her hand away. I must have scraped it when I was hiding in a hurry, but that's not important right now. What could possibly be more important than you being injured? I'll heal you. Hearing that, she panicked and shrank back. Not again, not those words again. Heal me how? Wait a minute, don't tell me you've been holding my hand all this time for reasons that weren't so pure? Akatsuki gave a small laugh and confessed, that's right. Ravi, shocked, blushed furiously and shot to her feet. You were tricking me this entire time? Akatsuki looked at Ravi and thought to himself, she really has no idea how obvious I'm being, though it is incredibly cute. After a moment, he said, I won't do it like that anymore. What? You're not going to heal me anymore? But it's still a problem. Akatsuki then placed a kiss on her hand. From now on, I won't be doing it by holding your hand. Her face flushed red as she looked down at Akatsuki tenderly kissing her hand. So, how are you going to do it then? You're not going to. Just do it with a kiss, are you? Akatsuki's eyes twinkled. No way. That's way too shameless. Akatsuki stood up. Shameless or not, there's no other choice. If I don't do this, Ravi might never understand. They stood face to face, their hands clasped tightly together. Okay, what do I do now? What do I do? What do I do? What? I hope you'll always be safe and sound. Even though it's been a long time, it's not like my feelings are the same as Akatsuki's. Ravi's eyes suddenly narrowed, but she gazed at Akatsuki in front of her. Wouldn't it be better to become Akatsuki's girlfriend? To be honest, finding a priest is a huge pain, so maybe I should just go for it? He's treated me this way since we were kids. I'm not someone he could love. I never even realized it. She remembered back to when they were children. The two of them were inseparable, standing back to back. When he returned from the war, she had reacted harshly. Her hair was a mess, sticking up like a porcupine's quills. This is for real. Do you want to kiss this time? Just think of it as revenge, that's fine. Being friends is fine too. Friends. That one word threw her heart into turmoil as fragmented memories came rushing back to reality. Her cheeks flushed pink, and she mentally scolded herself for being this way. Akatsuki was standing very close now. Just close your eyes for a little bit. He didn't want to waste any more time either, so he gently closed his eyes. She blushed beet red. If she just stayed still, it would be just like when they were little, handsome and kind, my kind friend. Then she lunged forward, lifting his chin with one hand, and his arms opened wide to catch her. She pressed her face close to his, her hands wrapping around his neck. How do I feel about Akatsuki? Suddenly, the image of Akatsuki confessing to her reappeared, interrupting her thoughts. I like you, Ravi. This distracted her, and just as their lips were about to touch, they suddenly stopped. I don't feel the same way he does. Is it okay to do this? She quickly screamed, Ah, I was wrong. The grass rustled as someone's footsteps approached them. Werner, covered in leaves, walked over. Hearing her brother's voice, a startled Ravi couldn't help but wonder. Why are you here? Then, they both spoke in unison. What are you doing here? The three of them stood frozen like statues. Ravi and Werner stared at each other awkwardly. What kind of entrance was that? It was Ravi who wasn't standing too close to Akatsuki. He retorted, You asked first. In the middle of the siblings' bickering, a familiar figure with fiery red hair approached. Rose spoke up, You missed it, but that's okay. There's still plenty of time. As the sun began to set, Werner and Ravi sat together inside the Diana estate. All sorts of pastries and hot tea were arranged on the table. Just as Werner started to ask about Akatsuki, she cut in. He said he came to greet father. Are you really not going to answer me? I'm not usually home at this time, so what were you doing in the back garden, Werner? He said guiltily, Well, Ravi was there too, meaning she was with Akatsuki. He only got halfway through before her face flushed red, remembering how their lips had almost touched. She jumped up agitatedly and slammed the table, startling him. Don't tell me you left my sister-in-law behind to do something weird like that? I told you to be more discreet. Because the dress she was wearing was too long. So when she suddenly stood up, she stepped on her own dress and tripped. Werner yelled worriedly, Ravi, and rushed over to his sister. Luckily, the table broke her fall, so she was fine. What's wrong? Are you hurt somewhere? She replied shakily. I stepped on my dress. But he was still anxious. Should I call a doctor or your personal physician? You could have broken an ankle for all we know. We need to check if you can move your toes. She snapped. Stop making such a fuss. And so, he had no choice but to carry her to her room. He put her on his back and carried her purple high heels in his hand. She complained that he didn't have to go that far. No way. Just lie down quietly until the priest arrives tomorrow. Tiesk, since she knew nothing about Akatsuki's abilities, there was no other choice. She thought he would just quietly continue taking her to her room. But suddenly he called her name, Ravi. Huh? He was pensive for a long time, then after a moment of hesitation, he spoke. I'm getting married soon, she asked in surprise. Really? The engagement was simplified, so at least the wedding ceremony should be held properly. I was afraid you'd be sad, so I'm telling you first. She replied cheerfully, What's this all about? I think it's highly commendable. Her eyes widened as she thought, to get married so happily like this is as if Akatsuki likes me, my brother likes girls too, you know, or maybe he's always liked both. She imagined Werner holding Rose's hand affectionately, both of them in gorgeous outfits. She asked curiously, When are you getting married? I don't know yet. I have to discuss the details with my bride-to-be. As they were talking, Ravi heard this and got angry. She hugged her brother's neck tightly and yelled, "What? You met my sister-in-law earlier and didn't say a word to me. Ravi, strangling me like this is dangerous." After a moment, Werner brought her back to her room, where she sat curled up on the bed and said, "That's so unfair. I can't believe she only met you. How is my sister-in-law? She wasn't hurt anywhere, was she?" "That, I didn't think to check for that." "What? You don't even know if your fiancé is okay?" He blushed and hurriedly explained. It wasn't the kind of situation to be checking for something like that. At that time, that afternoon, in the garden, "Rose, wait a moment." Rose teased, "Oh my, hasn't the waiting been long enough?" Werner was pressed against a large tree, his cheeks flushed red. "I told you to wait and see what I'd do when I got back. Are you curious whether your fiancé is demure or not?" "Well, Werner, red as a beet, stammered. That is, of course, even if other girls pursued me, I wouldn't spare them a single glance." "Is that so?" He peeked open one eye, just like an adorable puppy. Suddenly, Rose yanked the tie from his neck. "So someone is pursuing you?" He shrieked like a little bunny facing a black panther, and then in a moment of embarrassment, the bunny scurried away, leaving the black panther all alone. Even now, his face was still red to the tips of his ears, not daring to meet his sister's questioning gaze. "Anyway, you should rest now, Ravi. I'm leaving." As soon as he finished speaking, he dashed out the door, leaving her stunned. She frowned helplessly and asked, "What's with him? Ruining the mood by acting so cold again? This won't do. I'm tagging along next time." As Werner left the room, Ravi slammed the door, leaning back against it and covering her blushing face as she remembered Rose. Just then, Akatsuki arrived and asked, "Is Ravi in her room?" "Yes, but that's it for today. Let Ravi rest. She stepped on her dress earlier and twisted her ankle a bit." "She's already hurt? Then I will have to see her for a bit." "Stop. Don't let her overexert herself. Ravi has gotten much weaker without you. She might be bedridden for a whole year." The image of Ravi in a blue dress, hopelessly sinking underwater, appeared in his mind. The next day, in the mansion study, Daya was sitting on a desk as Werner seriously questioned Akatsuki. "You still like Ravi?" Hearing that, Akats asked in surprise, "What?" He raised his wine glass and continued to ask, "Are you still thinking about marriage? If I say no, you'll be disappointed." "Why are you asking me that?" "It's not that. Although it would break my heart, it would be very difficult for the Duchess to be bedridden all day," Werner said with teary eyes. "I understand enough." Akats looked at him suspiciously. "That's not the reaction of someone who understands at all." Werner said Ravi grew up quite healthy, so I thought it would be fine, but the doctor said she would grow weaker later on. I heard her health has declined more rapidly in recent years. Maybe that's why I've been having frequent nightmares. Hearing this, Akats thought to himself, is that why she started seeing priests? Even though it's been a while, she must have had to use a lot of healing power, so she gets tired more quickly. At this point, Akatsuki promised Werner, "It's okay even if she doesn't want to get married. I will protect Ravi for the rest of my life." Werner asked, "Once the situation stabilizes, you should step back from the front lines and have some fun and spend a lot of money at the mansion with Ravi." Looking at his wine glass, Akatsuki said, "It's surprising that you think that way. I thought you were ambitious about power, but..." Werner interrupted, "It might look that way, but I will choose the path where Ravi can live more comfortably, to avoid dangerous paths." Akats was lost in thought for a long time before answering the earlier question. "Even if Ravi is frail, my feelings won't change. In fact, it makes me want to be by her side even more. If the condition Ravi wants is a healing ability, then I am the most perfect candidate. Assuming I didn't have this ability, we would have to call a priest every day. It's not like the family will fall apart just because she can't participate in social activities. The duties she would have as the Duchess, I can handle them for her, and we don't need an heir. As long as she is by my side, I am confident I can do anything. Why can't you just accept it?" At that moment, Werner said again, "Even if they're just words, I thank you. Ravi is my precious little sister, so I was curious about your thoughts. Anyway, I have something I want to ask. What is it? If she's so precious, why did you let her meet people like that?" Hearing this, Werner spat out the wine he was drinking. What was I supposed to do if Ravi liked them? If it were me, I would have made a list of decent priests and given it to Ravi first, even if it meant investigating their backgrounds. Even with a selection process, it was still lacking. "You just let her meet anyone? I'm sorry about that." "Calm down. You should be apologizing to Ravi." All right. There's a list of families that have hurt Ravi. Use it to put pressure on the Marquise's house." Akats smirked dangerously. "That's excellent. Can I get that list?" A little later, Akatsuki and Alan stood in front of the room. Akatsuki asked, "No one is supposed to be allowed in, but I can go in, right?" "Do you know what I'm going to do?" Alan replied. "Akatsuki will do things that Ravi dislikes because she'll think she'd rather die, and Ravi is at her healthiest when she's with Akatsuki." Akatsuki smiled and said, That's right." In the room, Ravi was sleeping on the bed. Akats whispered as he entered, "I didn't know Alan paid that much attention. As expected, Ravi is the only one who doesn't understand my heart." Akats gazed at Ravi intently, thinking to himself, is this what Werner was talking about? That when I'm not around, you suddenly have nightmares. Ravi cried out Akatsuki's name, which made him freeze. Tears unknowingly rolled down her face as she kept calling for Akatsuki. Akatsuki leaned down and asked, "Why are you calling for me with that tone? Are you worried about me on the battlefield? Or is it because you're sick?" Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. It's just so nice. If you'd still want me this much, even when you're awake. He gently reached out to touch her face to transfer his power into her. This should be fine until morning. Suddenly, Ravi's arm reached up. Akatsuki, don't go. Akatsuki's face flushed red, and he asked doubtfully, Ravi isn't awake, is she? Then he chuckled and said, what am I really supposed to do with you? What is this? Ravi could feel a warm and pleasant scent somewhere. The sunlight felt soft on her skin, and it was easy to breathe. It's been so long since she'd had a morning like this, like being held tightly in someone's arms. At that point, she startled and whispered to herself, huh? Who is it? Akatsuki, who was lying beside her, asked gently, Ravi, did you sleep well? That was followed by a piercing scream that echoed through the entire mansion. Ah, Akatsuki, why are you here? You fell asleep after greeting my father. You should have gone home if that was the case. But Ravi, you were calling for me all night long. Me? I was? She fell silent for a moment, thinking, and suddenly Akatsuki reached out to stroke her hair. That expression on your face seems to suggest something, doesn't it? What on earth did you dream about? Sometimes you have dreams that you can't understand. It's just like that when you're injured or sick. The moment you wake up, the memory gets all jumbled, and you only realize it was a nightmare because of your swollen eyes and bruises. Thinking this, Ravi replied, I don't remember anything at all. Sometimes it's like that when you're not feeling well, but you're fine once you wake up. That's what Jenny or Alan told me. It seems I appeared in your dream, and even if I don't know what it was about, just let me handle it. Whatever I couldn't do in the dream, I can certainly do in reality. As he finished speaking, Akatsuki suddenly kissed her on the forehead. Ravi yelled, I told you I don't remember. What are you even talking about? Who are you trying to sell that line to? Akatsuki said, maybe doing this and that will help you remember. Just stop it. If you keep this up, you're banned from sleeping in my room from now on. Akatsuki leaned on his hands on the bed. Is that so? He moved closer. You said it was okay to do anything to you, right? Whether it was holding hands, hugging, or even sleeping. Should I list more? She answered, flustered. No, that was from when we were kids. Ravi, at 15 years old, was at the age where, according to the Empire's law, she could get married. You need our parents' permission for that. Then I'll go ask for permission right now and come back. You're unbelievable. Things are different now. Because I like you, right? Ravi punched Akatsuki in the face with a pillow. You're insane. And that expression is banned too, she thought to herself. Up until now, everything was fine, because he was the safest friend in the world. But that friend isn't safe anymore. Akatsuki added, we've already kissed. It's been like this since yesterday. I've never kissed you. That was a very dangerous thing to say. Could it be that you're confusing a peck with a real kiss? Ravi, think carefully about when we did it, then think and tell me where. I told you, it never happened. The only thing I can't remember is my dream. I wouldn't forget anything else. Then how about we reenact what I remember? We can just consider it a refresher, right? Just hold on to me and only me. I'll accept whatever you do. Let's stay together until we fall asleep. I'm going crazy. I can't argue with any of it. This is everything. More than my entire career, Ravi said. Hand me that pillow. I need to lie down for a second. She lay facing the wall, thinking to herself, so he's not leaving, huh? Akats, who was still sitting by her side, called out to Ravi. Is it okay for me to be by your side? If I just hold your hand? I'll only hold your hand. Do you remember what I told you yesterday? I heard you say a lot of things. Well, vaguely. Before, I would have just patiently waited for your answer, but I'm not going to do that anymore. She immediately turned to ask, if not that, then what are you going to do? I don't know yet. You'll find out later. Oh my gosh, are you trying to provoke me? Akats quickly replied. First of all, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, since I hate the same things you do. Then take that back. It can only be healed by a kiss, she thought to herself. Even if it's selfish, there's no other way. I still can't give up on Akats's ability to heal wounds. Hearing that, Akats gave a bright smile and replied, yeah, I get it. She glared at Akats, cursing. You idiot! How can you smile so beautifully when I'm asking for something like this? It's making me feel so guilty. Getting a dose of Akats's energy so early in the morning feels pretty good. Suddenly, Akats went quiet, then smiled and said, I'm going to confess one more time, so please say what you just said again. Hey, why are you always like this? There's no other way. I'll just keep enduring it. We can't go back to being just friends now. What am I supposed to do? Dealing with Akats from now on is probably going to be very difficult. The next day, Raviat sat in a lush garden, doodling on the ground with a stick, when a voice rang out. Well, did you come all this way because you missed me? Huh? No, Caleb asked as he sat down next to her. Then what are you doing here? What about the vice captain? I don't want to talk to Alan right now. She recalled what happened earlier. Alan, you know what? Akats and I. Alan immediately interjected. You're that confident? Aside from you, I know everything. At that point, she had said, I don't trust anyone right now. Does that include me? No, you're the most trustworthy one. But you've lied in the past, Caleb teased. Oh, come now. Don't be like that. Just tell me everything, milady. Is this about dating again? What is he getting at? Can I really tell Caleb everything? The problem is that your dating luck is pretty much a total failure. This isn't about dating. Then what's that scribble on the ground? It looks like a story about a young lord returning from war. It's a story about friendship between a man and a woman. What friendship? That young lord doesn't seem to have any intention of just being friends. What? How can you tell? It's obvious just by looking. He only has eyes for you, milady, and he looks like he's absolutely crazy about you. Since you've already heard his confession, doesn't that make you anxious? In that case, you're not just friends anymore. She angrily raised the little stick in her hand. We are friends. I said we're still friends. Why are you acting like this? If you get hurt, I'll be the one to get an earful. With that, Caleb snatched the branch from her hand. But then, Ravius began to tremble, which startled him. Milady, why is something like this making you lose your composure? Ravius asked. Is it true? Can we really not be friends anymore? We can't go back to being friends now. If I lie about it, I won't be able to see him again in the future. Right? Of course not. Who stays friends after being rejected? If that were possible, they wouldn't have confessed in the first place. It could just be a change of heart or a misunderstanding. They might still want to stick around as friends. Wow, that's so harsh. Do you think that's the extent of their feelings? Raviat froze at that, and Caleb continued, if you part ways, you'll only end up hurt, crying while looking for another girl. Raviat looked at his expression and remarked, you're as carefree as always. I thought everything would be sorted out after the war ended. I never expected to have to think about this. What about Akatsuki and me? An image of Akatsuki flashed in her mind, smiling brightly as he confessed. Ravi, I like you. I've always liked you. And he placed a sweet kiss on her lips. At this, she cried out, no matter how I think about it, it's weird, but I hate the idea of never seeing him again for the rest of my life. But it's not like our feelings are the same. It wouldn't be so bad to lie and say I like him, right? After thinking it over, Raviat asked, what should I do? He's my only friend. Caleb glanced at her thoughtfully. Whatever you decide, don't worry. If things don't go your way, there are always other methods. What kind of methods? What if Caleb brings about 100 priests? Who knows? If you want, I'll do it. Caleb, you're not planning a kidnapping, are you? I wouldn't do that. Just trust me this once. Let's see, why don't you try saying something trustworthy for once? Do you want some of the wine I secretly swiped? If Alan finds out, you're really going to get it. Later in the library, Raviat flipped through the pages of a novel. Do I really like you? We've been by each other's side since we were 5. That's right. I've thought you were my destiny ever since then. What do you think of me, you fool? Of course I like you too. And so, the two embraced and shared a sweet kiss. Reading this, Raviat slammed the book shut. Can you believe this stuff? If it happened that easily in real life, then from the very start, we wouldn't have been just friends, and they would have demanded an answer right after confessing. Why answer so fast? There's no sincerity at all. Is dating just a joke to them? Alan approached and asked, my lady, why are you so angry at a romance novel? I'd rather read a different genre, she said, but then insisted she couldn't. What I mean is, Akatsuki's patience isn't normal, and I need to mature too. But why does the plot of this book unfold like this? Who on earth left these books here? I've had so many misunderstandings because of this genre. Hearing this, Alan just stood there, dumbfounded. And these are the culprits. Just then, there was a knock on the door. My lady, pardon the intrusion, but Mr. Akatz has arrived. What? Shall I show him in? Raviat panicked internally. What do I do? I still haven't prepared a proper answer. She rushed to the door. No, tell him I'm not home. Yes, my lady. He's clearly here for his answer. Where can I hide? My room is too obvious. What about the back garden? No, he found me too quickly last time. I'd be better off hiding somewhere like the kitchen. He'd never think to look for me in such an unexpected place. I should probably take a different staircase than usual. As she walked, she looked around. Is anyone there? I just have to hide until Akatsuki goes home. Suddenly, an arm reached out from behind her, and a startled Raviat screamed, Ah! Akatsuki said with a smile, This is strange. I wonder why Ravi is here when she's supposedly not home. Raviat forced a laugh and asked, Oh, Akatsuki, you're here? I just got here myself, she cried internally. I'm so screwed. Who's going to believe that? Oh, is that so? I thought you were trying to give me the slip again. Where's this road going? Oh, the church. The church? Who are you meeting there? Startled, Ravis quickly explained. Whoa, wait a second. It's not what you think. If it's not, then what is it? Actually, I lied to get away because I was embarrassed. Then you should have just said you were going back. Why did you have to lie about going to the temple? I'm sorry. Besides the temple, I couldn't think of anywhere else. I was just trying to hide like in hide and seek. Suddenly, Akatsuki took her hand. Is that so? Well, the seeker has caught you now. Does that mean it's my turn to do as I please? Later in the carriage, Ravia asked Akatsuki, where are we going? Somewhere you'll like. I'm going to show you something very beautiful. Ravia blushed, thinking to herself, you're the most beautiful one. A while later, Akatsuki and Ravia were strolling somewhere. Ravia thought, this feels like a date. Ravi, we're here. Surprised, Ravia's eyes widened. Huh? Looking at the fountain in front of her, she gasped, is this the wishing fountain? I've wanted to come here ever since I was a little girl. Akatsuki smiled and asked, you like it that much? We'll have to go to many other places in the future. I can think of so many places I want to go. Really? I wonder if my body can handle it. It'll be fine, because I'll always be by your side. Watching the children making wishes and the couples in love, Ravia thought to herself with a sigh. Can the sunlight and breeze really be this gentle? It's so peaceful. It would be so nice if things could always be like this. But then she suddenly remembered what Caleb said. Wow, how cruel. Who wants to be friends after getting dumped? She worried to herself. If that's true, then this is bad. Just then, Akatsuki spoke to Ravia. Let's make a wish together. Here's a coin. Ravia's eyes filled with tears as she accused Akatsuki. Aren't you being incredibly cruel? Seeing this, a bewildered Akatsuki asked what was wrong. She suddenly pointed at him. Just how long have we been together? How could you even think about us going back to being friends? Hearing this, the crowd started to whisper. It looks like the guy is in the wrong. Yeah, it seems so. A helpless Akatsuki tried to calm Ravia. First of all, please calm down, she continued shouting. Of course we held hands and you touched my hair. You get my hopes up and then just leave. And you even talk about proposing and saying we could do anything. By now, everyone was paying attention, and the crowd was getting bigger and bigger. Akatsuki cried, Ravi, it's not like that. The people in the crowd muttered to each other. What's going on? Looks like it's just a lover's quarrel. Let's move along, break it up. If it's not that, then what is it? Are you so sure you'll never have to see me again? Akatsuki's expression turned serious as he turned away. All this time, at the temple and in the back garden, we've made wishes together. And every single time, my wish has been the same. As he spoke, Akatsuki tossed the coin, then turned back to her and continued, to always be by Ravi's side. Not going back to being friends doesn't mean I'm going to leave you. My answer means that I won't be changing my mind about you. Come on, Ravi, you make a wish too. Even if you don't feel the same way as me. You're not going to break things off? No, it's fine. Ravi, just do what you want. Whether it's holding hands or hugging, I'll let you do as you wish. In return, I'm going to do as I wish. As he finished speaking, he kissed her forehead. She yelped, what was that for? It's just something normal lovers do. Akatsuki, it's better if you think of it that way. She smirked to herself, thinking, even though this whole discussion was a complete mess, why is Akatsuki smiling so smugly? Honestly, it's not like I have much of a choice. In the end, if I start feeling sick again, I'll just have to go back to Akatsuki. There's no other way. Just no other way. Other than trusting Akatsuki when he says, it's fine. Just like that, my daily life went back to normal, even if it was only for a short while. Just then, Ravi asked her maid, what's with all the noise outside today? It's so loud. Well, it's Count Falcon Smith. He's here to see you, my lady. Ravi was startled and said, what? Alan's loud voice rang out from outside. This is your final warning. Please leave at once, his pleas continued. Please, just a moment. Can you just get Miss Ravi for me? Ravi stepped outside, wondering what this was all about. Falcon, his face covered in bruises, said, Miss Ravi, please, could you let me in to talk for just a minute? Ravi was inwardly surprised. What the? I don't even know this guy, Ravi said aloud. How rude, to just show up and cause a scene like this. Leave immediately, she thought. The nerve of him, to be so pushy. A moment later, she was stunned when he suddenly dropped to his knees. Miss Ravi, I am so sorry for brazenly showing up like this. About my mistake when we first met, Ravi, I apologize for shamelessly fabricating that kidnapping story. Seeing him crying and begging for forgiveness, Ravi couldn't believe her eyes. Why is he suddenly acting like this? Falcon went on. If you were hurt by my actions. Suddenly, a voice cut in. That's enough. Alan stood protectively in front of Ravi and said, I'll drag him away if he takes one more step. Ravi was startled again when the man suddenly burst into tears. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have no other motive. I just want you to understand my sincere feelings. I'll never show my face to you again. Can't you accept my apology? Seeing this, Ravi grew even more scared and quickly said, I get it. Don't come any closer and get off the floor. Are you insane? As two guards dragged him away, he kept shouting, thank you, Miss Ravi. You'll really accept it, won't you? Fearing he would do something even crazier, Ravi snapped, I said just go. Once it was quiet again, Ravi asked, what in the world was that all about? I don't know. I have no idea either, but I have a bad feeling this isn't over. This is so unsettling. Hearing that, Ravi immediately cried out in fear. What? The next day, it was the priest. Even though he was engaged, Falcon got on his knees and wailed, I was wrong, Miss Ravi. The day after that, it was the much older priest. The man bowed deeply and said solemnly, I have committed a sin worthy of death. And the day after that, the parade of apologies from uninvited guests continued. Ravi's face was a mask of disbelief as she heard it again. Please accept my apology. She screamed in frustration. I get it already. All of you, just get out of here. Someone asked. Don't tell me you did something, Akatsuki? He gave them a blank look and asked, huh? I'm surprised Ravi even noticed. You're all grown up. Hearing that, Ravi fumed. Of course I noticed. I thought you wouldn't care about stuff like this. Ever since last time, you've been treating me like I'm dense. I know what's going on. And now you're telling me you've only met people like that? I'm better than those guys, right? You still don't know? How in the world are we supposed to make those tactless priests repent? Both Akatsuki and Ravi were lost in their own thoughts, like throwing down a gauntlet and demanding a duel, or getting involved in their family's business, or humiliating them in high society. At that moment, Akatsuki suddenly spoke, authorized the relocation of the temple. Hearing that, she thought to herself, that's a bit much, isn't it? Then Ravi asked worriedly, what if rumors start spreading about the temple? Akatsuki calmly replied, on the contrary, that would be even better, wouldn't it? If anyone messes with Ravi, a rumor will spread that Enoch won't be spared. No, Ravi said hurriedly. That's not good at all. Who would dare approach me by themselves then? Of course, it's my fault they approached you in the first place. I'm sorry. I will handle this internally from now on. I don't know. Just do whatever you think is best. As she said that, she thought to herself, it ought to be illegal to look that handsome saying something like that. Old memories came rushing back, and you feeding me just now. It feels like I'm experiencing it all over again. The things I did when I was a kid. I wonder if Akatsuki is feeling the same way I did back then? Your health is my health too. Suddenly, she put her plate down and said, I'm not eating anymore. What's wrong? You've barely eaten anything. If I keep eating like this. Seeing the exquisite gifts, Ravi exclaimed in utter surprise. You worry too much. What is all this? Akatsuki smiled and explained, it's just a gift for you. I can't even go outside. So why are there so many clothes? You'll have an occasion to wear them very soon. The victory celebration is coming up. Not long ago, the emperor gathered the key figures of the empire. In one place, I wish to commend those who performed great deeds in the war. This time, we will hold a victory celebration party. Someone voiced their objection. Your Majesty, that is a fine idea. But Prince Felix is still handling the war negotiations. How about we hold the party after His Highness returns? Another person spoke up. The prince will surely understand. Isn't our first priority to comfort the people who have suffered from the war? The nobles supporting Prince Felix, and the opinions of the supporters of Prince Jackcast were in direct opposition. The king, sitting on his throne, mused, what do the rest of you think? Just when the statements of the neutral nobles became crucial, Enoch raised his hand and concluded the matter. Akatsuki turned to Ravi. I'll also be receiving a medal that day, and there will be talk about rewards, so I hope you'll come too. Ravi blushed shyly and asked, me? I should. I've never been to a ball before. Then you can make your debut at my ball. Ravi thought with anticipation, making my debut at a royal party, can I really dance and greet people? Besides, I really want to see Akatsuki receive his medal, Ravi asked, but is it really all right to accept the emperor's suggestion? It might look like we're siding with the crown prince. I'd prefer to remain neutral if possible, but the emperor probably won't be pleased if you side with me. What? Being seen as a faction is more annoying than simply being in opposition. I can see just how much he hates Enoch. I want to make that face of his twist even more. What the heck? Anyway, that's not what's important, Ravi. At the ball, would you like to be my partner? The question made her a little shy and flustered. Me? With him? With you, Ravi. Okay, sure. That evening, she thought in a panic, I already agreed. Is that going to be okay? We're just going together as friends, that's all. We should probably practice dancing beforehand, right? Otherwise. Werner suddenly cracked the door open and walked in. Ravi, if you're not asleep yet, can I come in for a minute? Brother, what is it? I found some good medicine this time. Even though it's just a little, I wanted to bring it to you right away. Werner held out the cup. Why is it this color? It probably doesn't taste good. I had a hard time getting this through the 7th prince. It's supposed to help people with weak constitutions. Please just try a little bit. I know, if drinking this makes me even a little bit healthier, then that would be great. Then I won't have to cling to Akatsuki anymore. Werner watched her, his eyes filled with worry. Suddenly she asked, oh right, are you going to the ball this time too? Yeah, father and mother will be attending as well. How did you know about the ball? Because Akatsuki asked me to be his partner. It's okay for me to go, right? Please, if you promise to continue staying close to Akatsuki or Alan, why does he have that look in his eyes? He agreed, saying I could go. Thank you. So, is your partner my sister-in-law? I don't really know about that yet. Seeing his embarrassment, she pressed him even more. How could you not know? Are you ditching your fiancé to go with someone else? Are you having an affair? About that. Rose seems to be angry with me. What? What in the world did you do to make an angel like Sister Rose angry? Hey, it's not like I did it on purpose. It was because of the meeting a few days ago. A few days prior, Werner was trying to catch up to Rose. Why so suddenly? Rose turned back and answered, I didn't think the Daya family would support the crown prince. He tried to explain, Jacques is a good person, and he has also helped Daya a great deal. Do you think it's right to decide a political matter for a reason like that? The question really caught him off guard. It's not that I don't support the crown prince. It's that no matter who it is, we have to make the right choice. Rose asked bluntly, as someone who participated in the war, I don't want to attend a party when so many were unable to return. With that, she turned and walked away. Let's take some time to think for now. Wait, Rose! Werner probably still didn't understand the gravity of the situation, thinking she just wanted some time alone. What if we just have a private party? Are you an idiot? Ravi angrily smacked her brother over and over. How could you make your fiancé cry over another man? Rose didn't cry. She thought to herself, there's no connection to Felix. Should I try to work with Jacques now? Akatsuki too. This story is different from the one I know. I guess this is how it is. The original story is meaningless. The main character is acting like a total idiot. So what should I do? Then, she gave him some advice. Grab her tight, in a really manly way. You have to say sweet things to comfort her, and you should be sending her tons of gifts she likes. Is that right? I honestly had no idea. I was just mulling over Akatsuki's actions. I have to step in for this helpless brother of mine. The next day, she sat down and wrote a letter to Rose. To my dearest Rose, I heard you've returned to the Empire, and I apologize for my late greeting. Rose smiled as she read the letter. Are you doing well? I'm always worried that my ugly older brother is breaking your heart or not. Seeing the roses in full bloom in the garden just now made me miss you even more. I will pick the most beautiful flowers and send them to you, hoping you will be as radiant as these roses. Rose thought to herself, it seems Ravi heard about what happened with Werner. The two siblings are so cute, so she decided to write a reply to the young girl. In any case, I don't plan on giving him the cold shoulder for long. We should reconcile sooner. In the letter, she replied, My dear Ravi, thank you for writing to me. The scent of the roses reminds me of the day we had tea together in the garden. I would love to spend time like that with you again. If possible, could you come and visit me? You pick the day, and I will send a carriage for you. After reading Rose's reply, Akatsuki angrily slammed the paper down on the table. It seems Miss Rose has too much time on her hands. I want you to review these documents during that time. If so, is this everything I'll have to handle, right? Obviously, someone was too busy scolding the priest, which is why the work piled up. Her words made Akatsuki furious. What exactly do you think you're doing with Ravi? There are rumors about a conflict with Grand Duke Enoch, right? That's none of your business. So she resorted to another threat. Is that so? I'm certainly not a fool. I'll have to deal with the Enoch family's affairs sooner or later, right? When? In 3 days. But Akatsuki left in a rage. Is that so? I hope it ends well. Akatsuki slammed the door and stormed out. He replayed the moment in his mind. There's something about the way she smiled like that, knowing it was something that could make me angry. Meanwhile, Jacques questioned Werner. How long are you going to keep this up? Werner was busy fiddling with a pile of gifts. Sorry, just wait a little longer. I'm trying to decide what color to pick. Choosing a gift for your sister again? No, that's not it. This time it's a gift for my fiancé. Hearing this, Jacques asked Werner in surprise. You're choosing a gift for your fiancé, and it's nothing special? Since you're a knight, I'm sure you're not interested in this stuff. But you still have to make an effort, you know. Then take this one. Huh? Werner stated firmly. That color doesn't suit Rose. The crown prince held it up. I don't know. I think it's a perfect match. 3 days later, Ravi ran into trouble. She got lost in the palace. Where should I go now? I'll just hide in here for a moment and then leave. Huh? Who's sleeping in here? Please don't wake up. Suddenly the person woke up. Where are you going? Didn't you come here to see me? Hold on. Then, he pinned her hand against the wall. It was Crown Prince Jacques. Huh? The two were caught in an extremely awkward situation. What on earth is this situation? To explain this, we have to turn back time, before this. She remembered her sister-in-law sending a carriage. She thought it was an invitation to the Salome estate, but she was unexpectedly invited to the Imperial Palace. Does everyone get to work in such an amazing place like this, Rose? I don't know, but my brother is usually. What do you think of the young Marquis? Rose came out to greet Ravi. You have no idea how much I was looking forward to it since you said you were coming, Ravi, but what can I do? It's okay. I have a meeting, so I'll be gone for a little while. You can just wait for me inside. Alan instructed her. I'll wait for you on the first floor then. When you're done, just have a servant come and let me know. I got it. You better not wander off just because you're bored, and don't do anything dangerous. I wouldn't do that, even in the Imperial Palace. That threat made Ravi storm off in a huff. That idiot Alan, what does he take me for? She sat down, sipping her tea and thinking, I don't cause trouble all the time. Suddenly, she glanced out the window. What's that? What's all that noise outside? Are those the 7th Royal Knights? Suddenly, she spotted a familiar figure. Oh my gosh, that person is Akatsuki. He was training incredibly hard, nimbly dodging the blades of his opponents. He was drenched in sweat, and it took her a moment to realize it was Akatsuki. She was so surprised she hid. He's better than I thought, so that's probably why he received a medal, huh? The other knights seemed pretty surprised by Akatsuki's actions today. Why is Sir Akatsuki joining the training? They seemed both surprised and weary. The Duke was supposed to be here originally. I know, right? It looks like he trained all night and got here at the crack of dawn. Akatsuki immediately called out the two chatting knights. Hey, cut the chatter! We apologize. His stern warning startled her. He's the cold type during training. That image is cool, but it makes him seem just like everyone else. Just as she was thinking about him, he suddenly spotted her and called out affectionately, Ravi, it really is you. When did you get here? His sweet voice made her face turn bright red with embarrassment, and she quickly looked away. Oh dear. You've got the wrong person. Why am I suddenly feeling like this? It's not like I'm receiving healing from Akatsuki, but my heart is pounding. Her dismissive reply left him confused, so he decided he had to go up and talk to her first. I can't face him right now. Upstairs, Ravi was still too flustered to see him. Oh my gosh, my face is burning up. How can I let him see me with this expression on my face? Not knowing what to say, she decided to run. Isn't there somewhere I can hide until I cool down? She started running through the palace, looking for a place to hide. Where? Where can I go now? Suddenly, she saw a room that looked like a good hiding spot. Inside the room, Crown Prince Jacques was resting. He suddenly heard footsteps. Those footsteps. They're familiar. He closed his eyes, sensing the footsteps approaching the room, frantic like prey being chased by a predator, and that familiar scent of roses. Just then, Ravi entered the room, unaware that he was there. Her footsteps were filled with panic. Huh, what's this? Did you come all this way just to run? With that, he grabbed her arm forcefully. Where are you going? Didn't you come here to see me? Hold on. He forcefully pushed her down onto the sofa, the atmosphere becoming unspeakably tense. Only then did he get a clear look. It's Ravi? What in the world is this situation? Jackass's actions infuriated Ravi. Hey, she pointed right at him and snapped. Excuse me for barging in, but can you please get out of my way? Only then did the Crown Prince realize he had the wrong person. I've mistaken you for someone else. My apologies for my rudeness. Oh, so that was it. Wait a second. If Akka sees this, flashes of a massacre went through my mind. She immediately pushed the Crown Prince's hand away. Don't touch me, you don't know the danger you'll be in. He also looked startled when she suddenly slapped his hand away so hard. Is he scoffing because I'm worried about him? Jackass smirked and said, what a ridiculous woman. He suddenly grabbed her hair in a captivating way. No more games. Will you answer my question? Who are you? It was then that Ravi had a chance to look him straight in the eyes and realized they were a murky gold. Could this person be Crown Prince Jackass? Even though I don't know the title of this novel, in the world where he is the protagonist, the one who appears as the villain, but now that my brother is on Jackass's side, shouldn't I feel more friendly towards him? Why do I feel so uneasy? Jacques was still clutching her hair. The scent wafting from her was not one you could smell every day. Marquise Dia's rose in the garden, a rose that almost no one could find within the Imperial Palace. As for Wendy, the one he's close to, Ravi said, I'm his younger sister. What? I am the younger sister of young Marquis Wendy. That garden is my garden too. You're Ravi Dia? What is this? You can walk by yourself? And Werner said a strong wind would be enough to blow you away. You seem full of life though. Hearing him say that made her angry. What in the world has my brother been saying? I am Jacques Barnes Pesco Apejo, and I'm also Werner's best friend. I've been quite rude. I thought you were Werner's secret lover. It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Imperial Highness. Oh, you know me? Not bad. I heard Werner is always surrounded by guards, so he doesn't attend many social events. Looking at you now, you two really do look alike, just like Werner during his academy days. Jackass's behavior was really making Ravi uncomfortable. I've always wondered why matters of succession are so troublesome. The warmth of his body clung to her skin where he touched it, giving her goosebumps. This feeling was completely different from when she touched Akkas. Trying to escape this bizarre situation, she made an excuse to leave. I have to go. Someone is waiting for me. Don't be like that. Can't you talk with me for a bit? Ravi struggled to get away from him. I don't like this. Let go of my hand. If you keep this up, I'm telling my brother Werner. What kind of threat is that? The Crown Prince likes my brother so. Ravi's words seemed to leave Jackass stunned. I mean, you two are best friends and get along well. Ravi pleaded with her eyes, begging him to just let it go. That innocent expression. So that's it. What more is there to say? Hey, besides that, what other meaning could there possibly be? I'm going to lose my mind. Why did I have to say that? I need to get out of here before he digs any deeper. And for that very reason, she gave Jackass a quick bow and rushed out of the room. Well, I'll be on my way. It was a pleasure chatting. See you next time. That was way too close. What good could possibly come from provoking the villain? As she was fleeing, she suddenly slammed right into Akkas. What do you mean, villain? Are you talking about me? You said that last time too. Are you running away again today? It puts me in an awkward spot if you do this every time. It's not like that I was too shy back then, so I ran away. But now. Now, could this person be the one who sent that pink letter? Akatsuki then reminded him. Levin, you have to go now, right? You still have that task I requested. Ah, yes. Akatsuki gripped her hand tightly, her heart pounding in surprise again. It must be because of the healing. Over here, Rose smiled and spoke up. Lord Akatsuki, don't you have to be somewhere? Today is my time with Ravi. Thank you for your concern. But I've already finished my important task. I've chosen an even more reliable assistant. I also brought a peach that she likes. How about we enjoy it together? The two glared at each other as if shooting sparks. If it's dessert you want, we already have plenty. I have lots of ice cream and candy here too. Ravi can't eat too many sweets. You don't even know that? Then we can just have this tea together. Ravi thought to herself, I don't get why the three of us are hanging out together. Thank goodness Jacques didn't tag along. Rose said she would soon become part of Ravi's family. Akatsuki immediately replied, It's not like you're marrying Ravi. Ravi sat quietly, thinking to herself, is all this time passing really a good thing? Meanwhile, in the Crown Prince's chambers, Jacques, this is so strange. Even the person involved, Winner, doesn't know. So how on earth did she find out? After returning from the Imperial Palace, the busy days continued to the point where she lost all track of time. Baths, fittings for dresses, dance lessons. At night, Ravi was so exhausted she slept like a log, completely unaware of the world. Finally, the day of the banquet arrived. The carriage carrying her stopped at the castle gate. We're here. Aki held out his hand to help her. Are you ready, Ravi? Yeah, of course I am. I've been waiting so long for today, but if I wear gloves, won't it be inconvenient when I'm healing? Yeah, it does seem a bit inconvenient. Is that a problem? Then you can just kiss it better. Just take them off and let's go. However, Aki picked up the gloves from the ground for her. I was just kidding. She blushed, embarrassed. What is it? I said I wasn't going to wear gloves, so why did you bring them? Ever since we returned from the Imperial Palace, I just don't know anymore. The two began to enter the party. This banquet was filled with many noble figures. Today, Akatsuki had received a medal. In a wonderful place like this, A lot of people would show up, wouldn't they? This is amazing. Suddenly, a group of people began to gossip about her. Isn't that person Lady Ravi? Until now, her face has never been revealed at an official gathering. I wonder if she's even learned any common knowledge. I heard she's so weak that even going in and out of the temple is difficult for her. I wonder what she's doing here. But as she just walked past, her beauty captivated all the young men. They still hadn't stopped gossiping. Perhaps that's why she looks even more pure and mysterious. Is she that pitiful? Is she not a human but a fairy? May I have this dance? Ravi asked shyly. Hey, it seems like everyone is whispering, right? Looks like it. Besides the temple, there are many more places that need cleaning up. What is it? Do I look weird somewhere? It's because you're beautiful. You're the most beautiful person here. Of course I am. Oh my. I prepared so much for today, she thought, recalling everything she had to go through, soaking for a long time in the bathtub. Have you ever had a massage? That's surprisingly tiring. What am I saying? I've said Akatsuki is handsome more than once or twice, but I'm so nervous. Suddenly, Lady Rose called out to her. Ravi, are you well? It's so good to see you like this. Ravi thought, with people like that around, how could I ever be the most beautiful? Seeing the most beautiful person in the empire really brought me back to reality. Rose, how's the ball? Places like this are pretty lame, aren't they? I still can't really tell what's what. I'm just waiting for Akatsuki to receive his medal. Did you know that Akatsuki won't just be receiving a medal today? There's something else too? Of course. The Enoch family made a huge contribution in this war, so it seems a mere medal won't be enough, right? Why? Sending him to war wasn't a gesture of goodwill. It's not like they're just tossing a bone to someone they despise. What kind of gift do you think he'll get? Usually they'd give a precious gem or a nice territory. It might even be a royal treasure. I heard some of them can even change their shape. Akatsuki approached and cut in. Whatever I receive, it won't be a sincere gift, so don't get her hopes up. When the award ceremony begins, my bride and I will go alone. Ravi, you must stay by Werner's side at all times. Do you remember what I told you earlier? Akatsuki had said that the current emperor hates the House of Enoch. For some time, the emperor has shown nothing but hostility towards the Enoch family. Those things were just the proof, they said, that through this war, it was confirmed the royal family continuously issued defensive tactical orders. For instance, the surveillance letters on the House of Enoch. Those were moves that sought the isolation of Enoch more than victory in the war. However, our family achieved a contribution that could not be ignored, ending the war earlier than expected. That outcome was also extremely beneficial for the empire. They have to acknowledge our work this time, but the atmosphere won't be good. No, what am I even saying? The rest is a foregone conclusion. I already told you to relax. The emperor will soon find a reason for this, so before that happens, stay by my side if you can. When that's not possible, stay by Werner's side. At last, the victory celebration began. Thank you to everyone for gracing us with your presence on this joyous day. Congratulations on the victory. From this moment on, I shall bestow medals upon the knights who have achieved great feats. Ravi thought to herself, how shameless. Come to think of it, all those unanswered letters must have been because the medal ceremony was starting. Akatsuki stepped forward, looking radiant. Ravi clapped for him from the crowd. The emperor is despicable, but Akatsuki is truly amazing. The emperor mused. On second thought, the House of Enoch has achieved a great victory, so I wish to bestow an additional, special gift. How about the Keter territory? Upon hearing that, the crowd began to murmur. Why is the mood like this? Brother, where is the Keter territory that has everyone whispering? It's not a strange place, but if Akatsuki accepts that territory now, his position will become very awkward. Akatsuki's position would become awkward. At the time, the Keter territory was famous for its perfume industry. Thousands of plant species grew there, a place known to have no winter, especially the Separate Garden, one of Keter's famous tourist attractions. This was also where the emperor first met the empress, a place known for their passionate love story of the emperor and empress. It was once called the Garden of Blessings, which the emperor at the time had entered with great vigor. But now its meaning had changed, because the empress gave birth to twins and the emperor's attitude suddenly shifted. How could a half-breed like this be born? The twins couldn't inherit the full power of the royal family. The empress at the time teared up at his words. It would become a threat to the empire, let alone the royal heir. Take those things away immediately and get out of my sight. The empress was sent away by the emperor, the enemy. It's said that she spent the rest of her life there, after the empress passed away. One of the twin brothers eventually passed away, the assassin forgotten in everyone's memory. Werner looked away with a troubled expression. Therefore, Prince Felix constantly coveted that territory, but if the House of Enoch receives the CA territory, then the picture becomes quite special. Ravi began to deduce the royal family's relationship chart, so the emperor wants to push Jacques away, while also eliminating Felix and tearing down Akatsuki's momentum. She couldn't help but get angry, cursing inwardly. Just you wait, you most famous old geezer and Keter, Saphira Flower. Symbolizing eternity, Akatsuki said as he adjusted his tie. Even if eternity cannot be seen with the naked eye, it still holds immense value. That is what the relationship between the royal family and the House of Enoch means. The oath of the royal family and the friendship of Enoch are eternal. At these words, everyone broke into a round of applause. A voice continued, but if their side has no intention of keeping the oath, then the obligation of friendship will also not last. Akatsuki looked up at him. This is the last time we will be in harmony. His words made the emperor furious, but he could do nothing but curse inwardly. Insolent brat. How ironic. Then, he turned around. Well then, please enjoy the rest of the party. And so, the music began to play. Ravi, with her arm linked with Werner's, looked around searching for someone. I wonder where the crown prince is. I have to be careful not to run into him. At that moment, Werner was captivated by the music. Ah, it looks like the first dance is about to begin. Suddenly, a voice called out to Ravi, and it was none other than Akatsuki. He approached, took her hand, and gently kissed it. May I have the honor of this dance, my lady? What? But the first dance of the ball is reserved for the royal family. The emperor has gone inside, and the crown prince said he doesn't have a partner, so we will be dancing the first dance instead. What do you think? If you feel pressured, Ravi, I can let Werner take my place. Ravi was stunned by his words and quickly agreed. No, it's fine. I want to dance. Hearing that, he felt happy inside. Then let's go. She smiled brightly and followed Akatsuki. The brilliant ball I've been dreaming of for so long, plus the first dance with Akatsuki, there's no reason to refuse. His hand skillfully wrapped around her waist and he asked in a soft voice, You dance so well for your first time at a ball? Of course. Do you have any idea how hard I practiced? What a shame. I'll just have to admire all of it. No way, I'm just showing you how good I am. See? Pretty good, right? Akatsuki was at a loss for words as he looked at her, smiling softly. Yeah, you're truly beautiful. Don't I have a flair for the stage? That's right. If my body were healthy, I'd be dancing all over the place. Don't worry about a thing today. I'll help you recover, so just dance to your heart's content. What a relief. It seems Akatsuki's mood has improved, huh? Do I look unhappy? The emperor gave you a reward while secretly tearing you down, and you stormed off in a huff because of your sarcasm. But it's not a big deal, is it? Oh, that? As long as you don't curse publicly in high society, who cares? Really? Akatsuki, you're much more shameless than I thought. Her body slowly drew closer to his, and before she knew it, Akatsuki's hand was on her waist, and then he lifted Ravi right up, taking her completely by surprise. How do you think people will remember me when they see this look on my face? Being this beautiful should be illegal. At that moment, all eyes were on them, and Ravi felt a bit flustered. This day is finally over. Later, the two of them were in a private room. The party is far from over, you know. Here, have some champagne. I've already done everything I wanted to do. We've already danced twice, including our dance together. All that's left is to see if my brother dances well with my sister-in-law, and that's it. Everyone else will probably just watch for a bit and then head home. Ah, is this non-alcoholic? Of course it is. Were you planning on getting drunk here? When you get drunk, Ravi, things get messy, and we can't have that. What do you mean messy? Don't you remember what happened last time with the wine? I was drunk, but holding your hand sobered me right up. But what about before that? I don't really remember before I fell asleep, just that I drank with you and got a fever. Oh dear. An image of a red wine glass flashed in his mind. Ravi, you can't do that. Why not? Is it because they were just pecks and not real kisses? That's not it. She leaned in closer and whispered, Akas, can you do it more? In that moment, Ravi's face burned bright red. What in the world is this memory? Akatsuki has two ways to ward off bad luck. The first is to decorate a sword I made myself, and the second is a sincere kiss. He had assumed she meant a kiss on the cheek or forehead, but then she made her request. You have to come back safely, so you have to kiss me a lot. Back to the present. Her face was beet red, her gaze lowered, unable to meet Akatsuki's eyes. There's nothing you won't say when you're that wasted, is there? You still don't remember? Your lips were so soft, it put me in a great mood. She quickly covered his mouth with her hand. I remember now. Don't say another word. Good grief, my first kiss. My first kiss was basically an ambush, and I don't even remember it. You're not going to say it was just a slip-up, are you? But wouldn't it be better if it was a mistake? Something that happened because I was drunk. In that case, I can just kiss you and say it was a slip-up too, right? Stop messing around. Akas. Unbeknownst to them, Jakas had appeared. I was wondering where the stars of the show had gone, and here you are tucked away in this corner. The moment she saw him, Ravi was so shocked she slapped a hand over her mouth. Akas, however, was perfectly calm. Your Highness, the Crown Prince. It is an honor to meet you, Your Highness. May the blessings of the divine be upon you. I was not aware of your presence. My apologies for the late greeting. Ravi also greeted him reluctantly. It is an honor to meet you, Your Highness. May the blessings of the divine be upon you. I am Ravi of House Dyes. I didn't think I would see you. Everyone is watching, so you wouldn't say anything strange, would you? Back at the banquet, the attention returned to the three of them. Akas asked, I thought Your Highness had no interest in the ball, so what brings you here? Well, your dance was quite interesting to watch. Jakas slowly approached, extending a hand as he gently made his request. If I may, could I have this dance with Lady Ravi? One dance? What? I can think I don't want to, all I like. But outwardly, she gently and tactfully refused. I am not feeling well, so I would like to rest a bit. You were speaking so strongly just a moment ago, and it seems everyone has already taken a break. My dancing is still very clumsy, she said. But she had already danced 2 songs without any issue, and had given up the first dance. Since it's for me, you won't refuse, will you? His words made Ravi furious. It's only because I didn't have a partner. With no way left to refuse, a hand stopped her before she could even step forward. With all due respect, please accept my request. A cat said in a low voice that, if you were to leave the hall, countless ladies would be waiting for the Crown Prince. Lady Raviest is my partner for today. Partner? Even if you are partners, it's not like you're dancing right now, is it? So you should let her dance. Besides, she's not your official fiancé anyway. Not to be outdone, a cat glared back at him with killing intent. Just then, a voice broke the tense atmosphere. Wait a moment. I will accept the Crown Prince's invitation. If your highness doesn't mind, just one song will be enough. Ravi, you don't have to push yourself. You're not obligated to accept every dance request. It's all right. The guests of honor at this ball are the knights who saved the country and the Crown Prince. It's better for my reputation anyway, and I also hate hearing Akat's nonsense. At that moment, I realized a certain truth. Images of the Emperor and Jacques were crossed out in my mind. It seems that both the Emperor and the Crown Prince are mistaken. In this entire world, I'm the only one allowed to annoy Akat. That's been decided since we were kids. Hey Ravi, she reached out and touched Akat. Don't worry so much. I have my reasons for accepting this. Just trust me and wait, okay? On the dance floor, everyone continued to waltz, and Jacques and Ravi also stepped out. It seems you didn't want to see me, but I've been looking forward to the day we could finally speak alone. Oh my, what's wrong? Yes, that's the expression. I've known Werner for a long time. That kid makes the very same face when he's hiding something. What in the world are you hiding? Even if I were, I couldn't possibly tell you. It seems you are quite close to my brother, the closest of friends since your academy days. Of course, through the good times, and even the sad, I was always by his side watching over him, so grief-stricken I was speechless with tears in my eyes. He faltered at the sight of her tears, his only close relationship. Back to reality, but this time, you've guessed wrong. I've spent nearly my entire life without ever leaving the Daya residence. I don't know anything, and I'm not hiding anything. Is that really so? Even if that's not the case, I think it's worth learning more about you, the little sister. So frail she cannot enter high society, whose single cough could shake the foundations of a temple, the treasure of the Daya family. Every time I heard Werner speak of you, I thought about it. If you have to be hidden away so carefully, are you not a treasure, but a weakness? Her eyes suddenly lit up. Just as he stepped forward, she stepped back. A scream rang out, causing everyone to turn and stare. Ravi was now sitting on the floor, much to his confusion. Jacques still couldn't process her intentional act. Lady Ravi, why did you suddenly? Before he could finish his sentence, she cut him off. I apologize, Your Highness the Crown Prince. Am I Daya's weakness? Your Highness has invited me several times. I wanted to fulfill your request by any means, but with my physical condition, was that really too much? She thought to herself, why don't you try confronting your own weakness? Jacques was completely bewildered. What is she talking about? Didn't she just suddenly kick me hard in the leg? It was true. She had kicked his leg first. Stand up and speak clearly, Your Highness the Crown Prince. Right now, my legs just can't. Everyone pitied her, and whispers started to spread. Oh my gosh, that's a nasty bruise. Is that bruise from being stepped on? No way. In any case, it needs to be treated quickly. Jacques wondered to himself. How could she have gotten a bruise like that? The butler approached and whispered in his ear, Your Highness, it would not be good for this conversation to drag on. Just then, Werner rushed over. Ravi. Jacques, no. Your Highness, the Crown Prince. What on earth is this situation? She spoke up to her brother. This isn't anyone's fault. It was just an accident, right? Jacques thought, you're the one who set the stage for this mistake in the first place. The only way to resolve this now is to say it was unintentional. Jacques said, regardless of the circumstances, I apologize for hurting you. It's better to stop here for today and get some rest. Hearing this, she thought, this injury actually isn't as serious as it looks. It can look this bad on days when I'm prone to bruising. Ravi leaned against Werner. Thank you for your concern, Your Highness. Afterwards, with Akatsuki's help, she was able to escape the ball. The Crown Prince was chewed out by Werner, and the issue only ended after he was forbidden from approaching Ravi. Meanwhile, Akatsuki asked Ravi, why did you do that? For an opponent you can't refuse. I've learned that using your physical condition as an excuse is the best strategy. Akatsuki also endured it very well. Because it was me, you were so anxious and worried, but you had no choice but to bear with it. You said you had a way. I listened. I was good. But where is this? Aren't we going home? I've rented a VIP room so we can rest before the carriage arrives. Huh? Why do you insist on treating my injury? Let me see it. I don't want to. Holding my hand is enough. That's too slow. It'll throb with pain every time the carriage shakes. Just let me take a quick look. Her face flushed red, but even so, showing the top of her foot was a little embarrassing. Akat sat down and reassured Ravi, stay still now. I know what I'm doing. He then gently kissed the top of her foot. Panicked, she shouted, Akat, he asked. Are you being this stubborn just because you got hurt in front of me? Do you have any idea how worried I was? I'm sorry. When I came up with the plan, I failed to consider how you would feel. I was angry that people were looking down on you, and I hated them whispering about you, so all I could think about was getting out of there quickly. But why are you smiling like that? Ah, it's just that sometimes, even when you don't say you like me, you still make my heart skip a beat. She was so stunned her entire face flushed red. How long are you going to stay talking on the floor, huh? Come sit up here next to me. So Akatsuki sat down beside her, while Ravi was so flustered she turned red all over. She glared, thinking to herself, what does it even mean to like someone? If I were healthy and normal, would I have realized it sooner? holding hands and hugging, relying on each other for so long that it feels completely natural? And with the hugs we share, is it possible to naturally grow to like Akas? The healing power has always been a part of our relationship. Akas asked softly. Ravi, what are you thinking about? What if there was no healing ability? After thinking for a moment, she said to Akas, can you close your eyes for a second? Why? You're scaring me, saying that out of nowhere. What's there to be scared of? Just close them for a moment. Don't do anything. Just close your eyes. I get it. Like this? Ravi's hand rested on the bed. Then she took the lead and gave him a kiss, after which they both pulled away. Oh boy, this is serious. Up until now, every time Akatsuki used his ability to get close to me, I'd always feel breathless and my heart would flutter. I thought it was just because of the healing ability, but even now when Akatsuki isn't doing anything, I'm feeling the exact same way. Her action just now left him stunned. Ravi, what does this mean? To be honest, until now, I never knew why my heart pounded like this. I thought it was just because of the healing ability. But I guess that wasn't it. My heart is pounding like crazy because of you. Akas, looking surprised and shy, pulled her into an embrace and whispered her name, Ravi, unable to believe what just happened. This isn't a dream, is it? Or is this just some kind of joke? Hearing that, she snapped, what do you take me for? I'm sorry. I'm just so happy I can't believe it, that's all. She thought to herself, it's not like I said anything earth-shattering. Is he really that happy? She unconsciously raised her hand, thinking to herself, he's actually really cute. Suddenly, a voice announced, the carriage you ordered is ready, sir. Ravi flinched and froze. I almost started patting his head on instinct. Akatsuki then replied, I'll be right out. Ravi, shall we get in the carriage and leave? That way, no one will know you were here, she replied. Thinking that if the carriage hadn't arrived, who knows what other impulsive thing I might have done. Akatsuki said, Ravi, you seem relieved that our conversation was interrupted. Am I the only one who's disappointed? She quickly replied, no, that's not it at all. I have no intention of just dropping it like this. We can talk more about it later.